A very good afternoon as we have a look at the Perth City skyline. We are at Leederville Oval, OPTUS WAFL action for round 10, and it's the East Perth Royals hosting the defending premiers, the South Fremantle Bulldogs. East Perth, an indifferent season so far, 1 win and 7 losses, currently has them in 9th position on the ladder, just 1 spot off the foot of the table. And South Fremantle, well, they're clicking into form at the moment. Their only losses coming to Claremont and Perth this season, but the defending premiers getting back into the click of the action. Well, their previous meeting back in round 6, South Fremantle, surprisingly, just scraped over the line by a margin of 7 points, 10-4-64, defeating East Perth 8-9-57. Hayden Schloeth will preview after our break, kicking 3 goals in that, and also the live wire half forward in Cody Nignett kicking 2. Also, South Fremantle have had the wood over the Bulldogs. No mistake about that. They've won their last 7 meetings. However, it's the Royals who have the edge by 4 wins over all time. They've met 335 times, one of the oldest rivalries in the WAFL. Well, we'll see our 2 teams out on Leederville Oval at the moment. Clear conditions at this stage, a little gloomy. Expecting to get around 15 degrees and not a breath of air. So it'll be an interesting fixture today. Can the Royals bounce back and try and record their 2nd win, or will the Bulldogs continue their march up the ladder? We will be right back after our first messages, and we'll preview the big clash, round 10, OPTUS WAFL action.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Leederville Oval. Hayden Schloeth, one of the stars for the South Fremantle Bulldogs, going through his paces. Matt Chechen's in commentary this afternoon, and my colleague back in the commentary box this week, Paul Persick. Very good afternoon to you, Paul.
Good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be back in the box. Absent makes the heart grow fonder these days, but as you can see there, Hayden Schloeth, and also number 33, Edward Simpson, who's going to have some extra responsibility in that forward line. He is going to be a key for the Royals today. Of course, with the absence of Mitchell Dobson, who suffered a hamstring injury last Monday in their loss to West Perth. Will be a great game between East Perth and South Fremantle. And as you said in the intro, the Royals desperate to get their 2nd win of the season because their finals hopes at best are a bit faint. South Fremantle, well, they're going very nicely. 6 wins, 2 losses, and in 3rd place on the ladder.
As we see Ed Simpson going through his paces at the moment, he's going to be a focal point in that forward line. He started the first 2 games in 2021 in the reserves, but in his last 6 league games in 2021 has kicked 13 goals, including 5 against Swan Districts, and kicked 2 goals in that loss against the Bulldogs back in round 6, but you'd expect that he needs to be a dominant spearhead if the Royals are to stand any chance.
Well, he's going to lead that forward core. He's got Matthew Young and Stanley Wright, who's going to play a little bit, but Stanley Wright, we've been told, is starting on the bench, but he's also got Jaden Magro and Ajang and Shane Hill in that forward rotation. So they're going to have to be on their A game if they want to get that scoreboard supply going for Simpson.
Let's have a look at one of the stars of this competition, Sandover medalist, Hayden Schloeth. He was well held last week against the Sharks, just 17 disposals and was goalless, but they got over the line against East Fremantle in a very competitive game there at Shark Park. But then in the loss to Perth, had only 12 disposals again and was held goalless. So they'll want to put the handcuffs on him, the Royals, if they're going to stand a chance
But
today.
one point to consider from that game, 17 disposals against East Fremantle, but the Bulldogs were still able to win against the Sharks because of their midfield depth. They've got the likes of Strom, Subin and Pearson who can get touches and effectively enter that forward 50. So it's not all relying on Hayden Schloeth in that department. What we're going to do now, Matt, is go over the team lineups, and we're going to start things off with East Perth in just a matter of moments, because there are a couple of changes. One key change to the side, Mitchell Dobson is out, but also if you look at their halfback, if you look at their back line, they've got some responsibility today. Mazzando, North and Jack Cooley is going to be on the back line. Taylor North, he's tasked with trying to contain the big Mason Shaw, who's been in form inside that forward line, as well as that man, Ajanga Janga, can play a bit forward and a bit back as well. He's a very versatile player.
He's very athletic. I mean, 196 centimetres and about 96 kilograms. Not much body fat on him, as you can see, but a bit of a double-headed monster with the other ruck in Scott Jones, who'll be wearing the number 7. You can just see him in the foreground there. They combined lead the WAFL in hit-out. So Jones stands at 205 centimetres, 110 kilograms. Bit of an old-school ruckman, bit of a tap ruckman. He's a good marker around the ground, but then you've got a Janga Jang, who gives something totally different. He jumps from different angles, he's athletic, and he's a good, strong mark in the forward line. He is starting on the interchange today, but no doubt he'll be one of the key players today. And as we have a look at Jacob Dragovich in game number 100, congratulations to him. He's a tackling machine. Paul, he laid 7 against the Royals in that round 6 win earlier in the season.
He certainly did, and of course he wins the footy plenty of times, 22 disposals in that game as well, and he averages around that 22 mark as well, so watch out for him, and he can kick a couple of goals in that forward pocket. But also he could push up the ground a little bit. He's very quick on his feet, very balanced with the football, so watch out for him today, of course, in that matchup with Jacob Mazzando. But also there's the other man we were speaking of off the air, Nathan Blee, game 150 in the WAFL. Of course, 6 games in reserves, 144 in the league, making his way onto the field a little bit earlier with his young kid. Magnificent stuff to see, and Nathan Blee will get himself set for the toss of the coin.
And he's no stranger to those colours. Also came up through the Ballajura Royals Junior Football Club. I was actually out at the Field of Dreams, what they call it, at Kingfisher Reserve yesterday. I actually took my son down to the B grade game, and the Royals unfortunately going down by a goal, but a ground that he would know he'd be very fond of as well. But look, 19 disposals he averages, so he's a bit of that rebounding halfback. His season high was 27 against East Fremantle, and he had 25 against the Tigers just 2 weeks ago. You'd think that he'd have plenty of opportunities today. And we're also not forgetting he's a 2-time best and fairest winner for the Royals back in 2014 and 2017. So 30 years old, a mature head, and they're going to need his experience today.
In the meantime, East Perth have won the toss, and they're going to kick to the North Metro TAFE end of the ground here at Leederville Oval, and players are going to get themselves into position for what is going to be a very important game. Nicholas Merritt there in being brought back into the side in place of Dobson, and only his 7th game in WAFL League football, coming from the Pinjarra side in the West Australian competition. And South Fremantle, watch out for Brocky Higgins today. He is going to be massive against Scott Jones.
Their relentless attack on the football is their blueprint also as the Bulldogs. They're number 1 in the competition for free kicks 4, so they get their head over the football, and then their forward line is so dynamic, isn't it, Paul? I mean, you mentioned it before, Mason Shaw, he stands at 197 centimetres. He's a Bernie Naylor medalist. He's been in the State Academy all the way from under 16s, I believe, and then he's kicked 24 goals, 6. So not only does he get his hands on the football, he's a great mark, but he's a very accurate kick. And then you've got Cody Nignett, who's the perfect foil for him, really.
Absolutely.
You know, a diminutive sort of figure. He's kicked 23 goals, 8, so again, very accurate in front of the big sticks, and he was a 2-time leading goal kicker for the mighty Perth Demons, and he's only 23 years old. And then you throw Jimmy Miller in, he's kicked 10, and then Schloeth with 11 goals. The Royals are going to have their hands full, Paul, but you know, their defence needs to stand up today. They allow their opponents to kick 60% for goal kicking accuracy, so they are allowing too many deep injuries and easier shots in front of the big sticks.
With all that in mind, who's your tip for today's game?
Look, I'm expecting a competitive game, but I just think the Bulldogs have got too much class. Obviously, the Royals still without Nick Robertson at the moment. They're missing a couple of key forwards as well, so I'll be going with South Fremantle today.
South Fremantle for me as well, in a canter, so I reckon this one might be a one-sider, but we expect East Fremantle to put up some fight there. You can see Angus Schumacher, he was prolific despite the Royals' loss to West Perth here on this ground some 6 days ago. So players are getting themselves into positions, and we thank you very much for joining us on Front Row Screens on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page, and live on the East Perth and South Fremantle Facebook pages as well. It's round 10, the halfway mark of the 2021 WAFL season. An important game for both sides. And it'll be Jones and Higgins starting things off in the ruck. A great atmosphere here at Leederville Oval on this Sunday afternoon. A couple of clouds in the sky, only about 19 degrees this afternoon. But the sun is shining and we should be in for a great game of football to round off the first of the split rounds. Here we go. It is Jones and Higgins to do battle in the ruck for this match in round 10 of the 2021 WAFL season. We thank you for joining us on Front Row Screens. Bounce favours Jones. The umpire lets that one go. Big tap towards the edge of the centre square. Breaks free towards half forward. Edwards Baldwin, one-on-one, but well played by Miller. Dragged to ground. Edwards Baldwin breaks from the tackle, gets the hand pass. Dispossessed by Amajuri. Well played by Donny. Left foot over the top and towards right centre wing, and the mark's been taken by Jacob Mazzando, who we mentioned earlier has got a big task in containing Shaw. That's a centering kick towards the half-forward line for the Royals, and a great mark, big Zach Strom. Originally from Exmouth, playing game 126 this afternoon. Courage in the air to take that mark. He goes for the short pass out to Bleacherton on centre half back. Risky kick, but that's effective, and South Fremantle will look to set things up from the half-back line. Not a lot of options. The kick comes to Rioli. And now they're going to open things up now. They got the switch in effect. The kick comes from McQuilkin. Back for the side, only his third game. And it's going to be marked on the outer wing. They're going to have to go long down the line. And the kick is a disappointing one. Finds Angus Scott. Originally from the Casey Demons in the VFL. Played 27 games since coming over to East Perth. And that's a good kick down the line. And it's been marked by number 38 there, Nicholas Merritt. Long kick towards half forward. Rioli in front, no mark. Hits it back. Hand pass comes out on the overlap. Mascos. Centering hand pass. The Royals got the Bulldogs under pressure a bit, but not for long as Bleacherton goes to the outer side. And South Fremantle will set things up at the 2-minute mark of this first quarter on the Shutterguard scoreboard. East Perth playing South Fremantle in round 10.
So the Bulldogs venture furthest forward through the hands of Shaw at the front. He gains 5 metres. Clever tap. And they could be out now. So Schloeth presenting himself on the arc of 50. But they're just going to keep running with the ball carrier. The centering pass is an absolute beauty. And that's a way to enter the forward 50 line. Busting out on the lead and taking a good mark is Travis Abbott. Sensational work on the outer side of the ground. Schloeth creating that leading lane there for Abbott to attack.
It was very smart by Abbott to create that extra target for South Fremantle's entry in that forward 50, because what they are good at is creating that opportunity from the outer wing onto the forward line with those long kicks down the line. So a goal here will be just reward.
So no breeze to speak of. Great conditions for kicking goals today as he comes in, and that one just pushes across the face of goal. Our first score of the afternoon on the Shutterguard scoreboard as we approach the 3-minute mark of the first term. Paul, I've been impressed with the work at the coalface early stages for the Royals. They look to have bringing the tackling intensity today as the ball is not cleanly marked. And is that going to be deliberate? We wait on the umpire. Yes, it is. So rather dejectedly, Rowan Kerr getting pinged for the deliberate out of bounds.
Rowan Kerr was he's going to be a vital player in defence and in the midfield as well. He averages over 20 possessions in his first 9 games.
So Rioli, this will be touch number 5 already. He has to kick awkwardly. Check side down the line. Well spoiled by Subin. Now, is that going to stay in the field of play? The umpire's letting them play. No, the boundary umpire will bring it back for another stoppage as Subin looks to bust inside 50, but they'll have to return the ball.
Bit of a lucky break there for the Royals, because I'd have to say, Mason Shaw looked to have got that one in for the moment. Yeah. One behind for South Fremantle. That plays no score in favour of the Bulldogs at the 4-minute mark of this first term here at Leederville Oval. This is round 10 of the WAFL. Glad you can join us on Front Row Screen season 2021. At 80 metres out from the South Fremantle goal. Higgins worked out back by Jones. Hand pass leaks out. Subin breaks through one. Goes with the check side towards the half-forward line. Nignett waiting for the sit. Good pick up. Oh. Good balk against Wilcox. He's going to go for goal here. No, he's not. He breaks through 3 tackles. Goes with a drop punt. It slews off the side of the boot. Under pressure there was North. He got the hand pass out, and now the Royals can set themselves out of the defensive 50 through Wilcox. Wilcox kicked down the line. No mark to Simpson. And the ball goes over the line just by the hills there.
Cody Nignett selling candy to 3 people on the trot, and the Royals were looking to buy. Good composure from Blee there too. We see his experience there, and a big milestone game for him, and just relieving a bit of pressure.
Jones in front, gets the tap out, but now South Fremantle have got numbers around the football. Kick smothered brilliantly. Under pressure are the South Fremantle side. Barging his way through. Hand pass comes out, and now the Royals are on again. This is Amajuri. Amajuri goes for the short chip, and that is a shocker. Out of bounds on the full. South Fremantle will rebuild through Reagan Spooner, who's back in the side this week, in place of Barker, who's been dropped.
Not sure what's happening in the structure of the forward line for the Royals, but that last passage of play before it went out in the full, there was only 1 player inside 50 and 3 Bulldogs defenders, so the Royals half forwards too high up the ground.
Good team tackle applied by the Royals. Getting involved there was Lynch. The umpire says, give it to me. 1 behind, playing no score. South Fremantle lead in this opening term. It's important round 10 clash. Ball bounces again. And there's some holding on, holding the man. The free kick will go the way of the Royals. It's going to be taken by Rowan Kerr. In fact, the umpire will give that one back. It's going to go to Angus Scott, as a matter of fact. So Scott, from the defensive side of centre, goes for the short pass, finds Schumacher. And now they're going to move things steadily here. Transferring play back to the centre. Kerr gets the hand pass out, and now the Royals are away. Out towards Simpson, no mark. Magro, good play, getting front and square. Shoots towards goal from 35 and gets through the first one on the board. Jaden Magro striking first for the Royals, and their structure working wonders so far. And we've played just about 6 minutes on the Shunnagar scoreboard. East Perth 1 goal straight to South Fremantle, just 1 behind in this first quarter in round 10 WAFL action.
13th goal for 2021 Optus WAFL season. 13-9 in fact, so he just attacked that contest at pace as well, and no chance for the Bulldogs defenders, who were trying to scramble, and a polished finish too. Running away from goals is never easy to bring the ball back across the body, but he made that look very, very easy. He also kicked 2 goals, Paul, against South Fremantle in that narrow loss back in round 6. So likes lining up against the team in red and white as he gets our first major of the afternoon. 6.5 minutes played, opening term, as Higgins just elects to try and pluck the ball out of the ruck. Can't get it this time. At ground level was Doney with his head over the footy. Also on the scene is Christian Amajuri. So no prior opportunity. Our umpires today, Trent McPhee in the 8, Lockie Faye Gilmore and Lewis Jago. Kelly, was he pushed in the back? He was. No advantage. And we'll come back to him.
Blee's running along with Donaldson on the half-back line for the Royals, so he's keeping him in check.
10 tackles he laid, Manfred Kelly, last week in the win over the Sharks. Spearing pass up to the paint of 50. Awkward bouncing ball. Was that thrown? The umpire didn't think so. Shaw, under a lot of duress, just gets his toe to the footy. Kelly crashes through. Was he legged there? No, said the umpire. And again, the Royals' pressure at the coalface is telling. Jack Cooley, who started on the interchange bench this afternoon, lays a very good tackle inside forward 50. So Higgins up against Jones, wearing the number 70 today, probably the highest number in the WAFL. It's one of the tallest combatants too, as we have another stoppage.
You know, wonder, 205 centimetres, and he's a good solid ruckman, only playing his 55th game in WAFL football.
Pretty handy too when he rests forward, as he wins that hit out decisively. Rolling footy at the moment. Bulldogs looking to get something off the edge of the pack here. Kicking around the corner into a dangerous position was Pearson. No clean mark was taken. Can they get the Crummers? Little snap around the corner from Donaldson. Could have gone through, and it has. So 2 opportunistic goals. The first one coming to Magro, and that one to Donaldson, who found a couple of hand passes out the back door, and he snapped truly over his right-hand shoulder, and that is the first of the afternoon for the Bulldogs. So they have a slender 1-point lead. Let's have a look at this. Talk us through it, Paul. CD Dodd replay.
Well, that was the crumb opportunity from Donaldson out the back of the contest, because they had more numbers around there, and they got the hand pass out to Donaldson, who found the presence of mind to search for an opening and snap with a goal from the left foot. Fantastic play from Donaldson, a well-deserved goal, and a big response for the Bulldogs.
And probably one of those players that doesn't get a mention within that forward line group with Shaw, also Schloeth, obviously Nignett, but that's his 7th goal of the season. So providing to be a good foil in that across half forward.
1 point the difference. 1-1 plays 1 goal straight at the 10-minute mark here at Leederville Oval. Sunday afternoon football. Was in dispute along the centre circle, and we'll have a repeat in proceedings now.
So Paul, obviously the split round, Claremont with a big win yesterday. They ran over the top of Peel Thunder. They trailed by 10 at 3/4 time, but the Tigers continue to roll on.
Yeah, they looked fantastic in that final quarter when Peel Thunder gave them a really good fight yesterday. Bleacherton gets the clearing kick, but it's only as far as Wilcox for the Royals. I was speaking to him a little earlier today when they were out on their pre-game run at half-time in the reserves game, and Hayden Lynch interjected and said he's going to be the man to stop Shaw. So, throwing a little bit of a red herring in there, but East Perth have got the overlap going. The hand pass came from Sparks to Stanley Wright. Was he held without it? Umpire says no. Hand pass comes over the top. Good punch away. Back to Wright. And he's tackled ferociously by Manfred Kelly. And that allows South Fremantle to turn that ball over. Dragovich in his 100th game. Long probing kick towards the attacking side of centre. Nignett and Wilcox. Wilcox keeping his feet, but so is Nignett. That's a great effort from Nignett to keep the ball in front. He's supported well by a couple of Bulldogs players, namely Shaw, but East Perth converging on that football like a pack of wild dogs.
Good job from Nignett, but I really like the work of Kai Wilcox there, because up against Nignett, who we know in a tight confined space like the telephone booth, he's a very, very crafty operator.
Higgins gets the tap out, but there was holding on, and that's against the Royals. Free kick will go the way of the Bulldogs. It'll be taken by that man again, Dragovich. The Centurion, he's a real machine, as you mentioned, Matt Chechen. So going up towards the forward line, Wilcox giving it everything, but he got his hands in the back of Nignett, and Nignett will take the free kick. He's going to create another opportunity for himself to impact the scoreboard, but he's going to have to kick it a long way. Is he going to back himself here? If he does, he'll have to kick from 65. He elects to go out wide, and that's a very risky kick. And East Perth will turn that one over. It's from the defensive side. Eaton. Kick out towards Simpson. No mark. Under pressure from Miller, but well played in the end by Wright. Breaks through one tackle, doesn't get through the second. And is he going to be paying for holding the ball?
Oh,
yes, he is.
I think he's a bit stiff. I mean, that third tackle got him around the neck, but plenty of opportunities to dispose of it, Paul.
Well, Nignett, that's his second free kick in the last 30 seconds. He's got a few targets roaming free, but he elects to concede some ground. Pearson, and they've got the switch going. South Fremantle will open things up now. This is Mascos. And Nignett just kept on. Oh no, that's not Nignett. But the Bulldogs just keep on running. Good punch away. Shaw, the hand pass out. Spooner over the top to Rioli. Now back. Roving kick to the hot spot. Goes looking for Shaw, but Nignett, the second target, and takes a good mark on the jest. That extra lane provided by Shaw to give Nignett an uncontested run at the ball. And Cody Nignett takes a very good mark, and he'll look for the Bulldogs' second goal of the afternoon.
It turned out well, obviously, for Cody Nignett, but I think the original target was the number 23 rather, in Miller, the taller target, and the kick just over his head and then into the fortuitous arms of Nignett, and we know how deadly he is at set shots.
Well, he kicked 4 last week in the Derby. He'll kick from 35 metres out, and that is straight through the middle. Cody Nignett gets the second for the Bulldogs, and they break away to a 7-point lead. 2-1, plays 1 goal straight. 13-minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard. Cody Nignett continuing on his good form.
Don't want to write off Tyler Keitel, but I think whoever wins the South Fremantle goal kicking award this year might actually take out the Bernie Naylor medal, as we have a look at the form of Cody Nignett. Goal number 24 for him. Perfect drop punt. Great conditions too for goal kicking. Not a breath of wind out at Leederville Oval at the moment. Bathed in sunshine. Thanks again to CD Dodd and to Shutterguard, our scoreboard sponsor. Matt Chechens and Paul Persick in commentary. Thanks to Front Row Screens. They do it all, don't they? Front Row Screens.
Any the best in the business.
And also the big LED screen. I'm sure
good.
Matt Williamson's going to allow me to play some video games on it one day.
Oh, hopefully, man.
Yeah, lined up maybe.
Classic or modern, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe for school holidays. We'll have to negotiate that, get it written into the contract. So Jang's been moved onto the ball. Jones resting up forward. Good strong tackle. Pack of Bulldogs there, and going nowhere with the ball was Hayden Lynch. So another stoppage. Thanks for joining us today. Subin onto the right boot. diving forward was Main. Couldn't take the mark, so they looked to sweep it wide with a hand pass. That was very clever, and they swing it wider further still. Kerr, beautiful little kick on the 45-degree angle into the arms of Sparks.
Ajang's the +1 on centre half forward.
So Sparks doesn't know which way to go. He elects to go over his right shoulder laterally. They look to play the horseshoe now out towards the outer side of the ground. Mark taken by Kerr. Dinks it over the top. They can still try and collect and organise something here at the moment, but they looked out at left half forward. Ajang, who was ignored. Now they've got the ball on the far wing. Ball comes back inboard. Eaton sends him inside 50. A rare entry for them. Can they get another crumbing goal? Spun in the tackle was Matthew Young.
Free kick.
And holding the ball, so incorrect disposal for Matthew Young. He's kicked 8 this season. We'll have to wait to make that 9. So the Bulldogs look to set up. Subin's all on his own over the top. The kick goes very high, but clears the 50-metre arc. Good body work on Brock Higgins, and Ajang with a very clever mark.
I think it was good by Jeremy Bernard to switch him up to the ruck to combat the impact of Brock Higgins.
So he just does the team thing, sets it up long and high, and out man, but taking the strong mark is that man that we identified, Ed Simpson. That was superb. He had to beat 3 Bulldogs, read the drop of the ball superbly. Have a look at this replay, thanks to CD Dodd, as he plays on and kicks the goal. But have a look at the mark. Look at that. In a pack of Bulldogs, comes up, wheels around, wastes no time and kicks his first.
He had to wait. He didn't have to waste any time there because Simpson, he plays well under pressure and he's been given that added responsibility up forward in place of Dobson, and he's living up to it early. But those 3 Bulldog defenders got to go for the spoil in there. They all went for the mark at the same time. One of them at least had to spoil, as we see on the replay.
Yep, and as the modern player does now, kicking across their body. Remember in juniors, we would have been benched if we'd have tried anything like that, but now it just seems to be the norm. And we identified him pre-game, didn't we, Paul? And he needed to have a big afternoon. He's now kicked 13 goals on the season. Just double check my maths on that one. 14 goals this season, but only 2 behind, so reliable. As the ball comes back into the middle, 16.5 played in this opening term.
Jang and Higgins in the centre. Higgins gets a tap out. Schloeth in front, was dispossessed and in fact was held onto. And he'll take the free kick. Jang a bit unlucky there because he had space aplenty to break free from the centre. Schloeth goes to McQuilkin. And his 3rd game in league football. He's going to go for the kick down the line and find the big man, Brocky Higgins. Against his old side. Penetrating kick towards the half-forward line. Miller on the second grab, takes a good mark. Got a couple of targets. One of them is Shaw. Centres the kick towards the corridor, and a good mark taken under pressure by Jared Salmeri. And he'll have a quick response for South Fremantle.
You could see that play developing, but Salmeri had to make up at least 25 metres on that lead, and then a nice little juggled attempt sliding. That wouldn't have been easy.
This for a 7-point lead if he can kick it. We're at the 18-minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard. He'll kick from about 45. And it's across the face. And it's nothing but nothing. Out of bounds on the full. So a lucky break for the Royals. And East Perth will have the opportunity to reset from their defensive 50.
Crowd still spilling into the ground. And bouncy castle for the kids to the right of screen, Paul. And it's good to see some away travelling supporters also from South Fremantle.
Well, the atmosphere is always great here at Leederville Oval. The home and away teams give it some great support. And the crowds too have been fantastic in the early stages of this season. Can't forget those derbies on WA Day, and a total of nearly 10,000 last week. It's a fantastic advertisement for state footballers. North sets things up for the Royals out of their defensive 50, and now they're on. This is Amajuri, kicks long down the line. The mark taken now by Scott. They got it moving quickly. The Royals have got a good thing going here. Here's Hill. He's going to kick long towards the forward 50. Great mark taken there by Simpson. He's having a major start to this game, and he's going to look for his 2nd.
And speaking of amazing starts to the game, Amajuri, he's up to now 8 disposals, and he started that chain that results in Simpson with the mark.
That was a well-weighted pass too by Hill. Simpson on a good lead, taking the mark uncontested. He's going to have a chance for his 2nd goal and put the Royals back in front. So Simpson coming in place of Mitchell Dobson. 14 goals in his last 6 games.
Only 2 behinds too, Paul.
This for number 15. From 50 metres out, gives it everything, and it's cleared. A great goal by Simpson. He gets his second, and the Royals are back in front at the 20-minute mark here at Leederville Oval.
He is deadly accurate. Thanks again to C.T. Dodd. He puts ball to boot, bang on 49 metres. And have a look at the replay. He knew where it was going. He didn't need to look.
He didn't have to. He was as straight as a die. He's a very good kick of the football. Here's Simpson, the former Claremont player. And no doubt he is making his presence felt early in this game. 3 goals straight to 2-1. We got ourselves a really good game early on. Only 5 points of difference as we reach the 20-minute mark. So it's seesawing in momentum a little early on, but East Perth have got themselves off to a good start. And good signs for the Royals too. South Fremantle, they're fast first quarter starters, Paul. They've won 6 out of 8 first terms, whereas East Perth have only won 2 out of 8 first terms. So the fast starting Bulldogs find themselves in a bit of a cat fight at this stage. Here come the Royals, spinning through with Schumacher. How many times have we said that? Schumacher through traffic as the ball goes up towards left half forward. Under the close attention there of Pearson. Pearson does really well. Manages to slap the ball out of play, and we will have a throw in. Also getting to that contest was Noah Strong. Was fortunate enough to call his sister's game a couple of weeks ago. Mim Strong, very, very good Waffle W player for the Bulldogs from Exmouth. No doubt it'll be warmer conditions up there. If you're joining us from up there, welcome. Higgins, clever tap down. Clearing kick, but it could be coming back. Flying with one arm rather was Cooley. Couldn't take the mark. Shaw tried to link up with Subin, but was dispossessed. Well done from Hill. Puts them back inside 50, but Pearson again. It's made a good start to the game. The hand pass swept wide to Bletcherton, but he runs into trouble. So they could be in a little bit of difficulty at the moment. This is Rioli. 6 disposals for him. He started so hot. A Jang coming off for Jones, so they're interchanging in the ruck again. He's got a long way to get to the contest too. So the Bulldogs happy to just take a bit of the sting out of the ball at the moment. Schlensog, 9 marks against the Sharks. They swing it now. Kick coming the way of Doney, who can mark. He's got another option down the line. Honours the lead of Abbott. The kick mark game at the moment. That falls short. So the intercept mark taken by Fulgrave, and a chance for the Royals to set up on this broadcast wing. Fulgrave sets it up, and it's a shocking kick. It goes only as far as Manfred Kelly on right centre wing. And now they'll have a chance to set things up again. Kelly's long kick towards a 3-on-2. Higgins the tallest, no mark. Out the back, Mazzando breaks through the tackle. That's good play. The hand pass comes out north. And now Cooley, short pass, and finds Angus Scott. Magro's loose checking, and he takes the mark on centre half back. Young. This is Mazzando. Released by the hand pass. Long kick, goes looking for Hill, and he takes a good mark. Simpson's on the loose inside the forward 50. Goes on the lead once again. The kick comes in towards Simpson and takes another fine mark. Simpson outside the 50. He's going to have to give it everything if he wants to. Well, Paul, you have a look at his last set shot. Probably from a bit of a straighter angle, but it literally just got over the padding of the goalpost, so this will take every inch of his best effort. Well, if he can kick this one, it'll be an 11-point margin heading into quarter time. So Simpson, he's backing himself here. They're off to a good start, East Perth. Can East Perth keep it up? From right on the 50. It's high, it's long, it's not going to make it. And it's touched on the line for a behind. That's East Perth's first minus score. 3-1-19 plays 2-1. 1 straight goal to margin here at Leederville Oval. We're glad you can join us for round 10. The Optus WAFL season, the first of the split rounds for 2021. Yesterday, Claremont holding on by 7 points over Peel Thunder, and it looks like a tight one a little early in this one as the mark is taken by Strom on centre half back for the Bulldogs, and now they're going to build it up again. The kick towards Bleacherton gets a kind bounce. On the wing, kicks in towards Shaw, but the ball beats him and his opponent in Nathan Eaton, and it's over the line for a throw-in. Just the service this afternoon, not to probably Mason Shaw's liking at the moment, Paul. That one pitching in front of him, but he's been in and around the contest at the moment, but just hasn't been given any airspace to do what he does best. Absolutely. So in the dying embers of this first term, it's been competitive. The Royals with their noses in front. Schumacher, hand pass towards the teammate of Scott, but he runs out of tarmac.
So all of the players basically sucked to the outer side of the ground at the moment. High toss in, that favoured Jones, who won it down. The Royals in heavy congestion and have the second most handballs in the WAFL. And they're putting that on display at the moment. And out of play.
Wonder what Todd Curley will be saying to his players, given that their position that they're in at quarter time. But also, from an East Perth point of view, it will be interesting to hear what Jeremy Bernard would have to say. He must be happy with the Royals start here.
I think if they're within touching distance, or even in front at three-quarter time, believe it or not, Paul, South Fremantle are the second worst team for fourth quarters in the competition, so they wouldn't want to be trailing. Otherwise, it could be a bit of a mountain for them to climb. Schlensock brings the ball over to the reliable arms of Dragovich in game number 100. Accurately spots Donaldson. He's got nothing within 15 to 20 metres forward, so has to recede ground. He does so accurately to Rioli, and he almost goes back to the kickoff line. They swing it to the outer side. Can they mount one final charge in this first term? So they're managing to move the ball with the kick mark fashion at the moment pretty well. And they could be out on the outer side, so Shaw's in on his own inside 50 along with Kelly, but they're just slowing the ball down at the moment.
Well, not for long. Nathan Eaton is running across with him.
And that poor delivery to the wing area to Schloeth, off his shins and out of play, and the Bulldogs miss a chance to go forward. That's
a good point that you made a few minutes ago. The delivery that South Fremantle have got on their half-forward line just hasn't been as effective as they normally would.
It's probably been half a metre short, and it's to the shins of their tall, so not ideal.
Jones and Higgins. Higgins gets the tap out. Hill dispossessed. It's on the outer side. Good team tackle applied. Edwards Baldwin right in the thick of things. And we'll have another stoppage. So good crowd starting to build in.
Bleachin and Dragovich, 8 disposals for the Bulldogs. And Angus Scott now with 9 disposals. And Amajiri with 8. So they're starting to win the footy.
Looping hand pass over the top comes to Blee, who snaps it high towards half forward. Simpson. Tap forward above the ground. Sparks. The kick goes looking for a forwardman there. No mark taken by Young.
Free kick.
But well played in the end. The advantage is paid. It comes to Magro, who shoots towards goal. And Magro gets his second. East Perth with their 4th goal of the quarter right on the stroke of quarter time. And they build up a 12-point lead at the 27-minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard.
Well, I think it was Matthew Young that got caught high. It was a lovely delivery inside 50. And the umpire right on the scene. They've done a fantastic job in this opening term. Let's have a look, thanks to CD Dodd. There was the high shot there on Young from Rioli. And Magro, ever the opportunistic forward that he is, puts his second through, and I think it's only his second kick for the game as well.
That's right,
Paul.
but it's the most effective. If you get 6 points from your 2 kicks, then you're doing a good job so far. So Magro and Simpson have got their only goals of the game thus far. And so that forward combination, more than living up to its expectations early on.
Well, all our chat pre-game was about Shaw and Nignett. That combination, we totally overlooked Simpson and his perfect foil and partner in crime in Magro. He is an absolute goal shark.
Well, they are looking good, the Royals. 4-1 playing 2-1. The margin, 2 straight goals. We're at the 28-minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard. What is a good day for football here at Leederville Oval. Higgins and Jones. Jones taps it out back to Lynch. Gets the clearing kick towards the half-forward line. Young and Hill are the targets, but watch out for Ajang as well. Favoured by the bounce. It's socket off the ground towards the boundary line and over. Will it be ruled deliberate? Yes, it will be. Another deliberate, this time against the Royals, and the free kick will go the way of Chad Pearson. There, Ajang just talking to the umpire about that one. So South Fremantle will build things up from the half-back line. Cloud cover starting to break here at Leederville Oval. Proving kick towards a bevy of players looking for that ball. Jones punching that one over the line. We'll have another stoppage not far away from quarter time. It's been a great quarter of football, but East Perth are supplying a little more of the firepower at the moment. They've kicked the last 2 after it was goal for goal in the first 10-15 minutes of this match. Jones working that one to the front. Big punch forward. Hill was one of those targets, and other than there was Eaton, but Hill keeps the ball in front of him. That's great play. His kick goes looking for Ajang. He couldn't take the mark. Front and square was Young. He slips over, gets the hand pass out towards a couple of players, only as far as a Bulldog defender, and now they can clear as the siren goes. Well, East Perth supplied great firepower in that first quarter. Goals exchanged in the first 15, 16 minutes. But East Perth were able to break away with 2 goals to end the term. Magro and Simpson amongst the thick of the action. And also Rowan Kerr getting us some crucial possessions at the end of the quarter. 12 points the difference, Matt Chechen's. A very good start for the Royals here in this round 10 clash.
Yeah, and something that's caught a lot of people, including ourselves, maybe on the hop. A little surprised with how well that the Royals have started this game, and they need to address a couple of things, obviously on ball, because Amajuri starting to win the football. And they're getting very good inside 50. They're getting deep entries as well. And when they get those shallow entries, it doesn't matter because Simpson has already proved from all of 50 metres that he can be an accurate kick for goal. So plenty to do for South Fremantle and that team on screen. And that man would be very happy. Kai Wilcox, he started the game very brightly across half-back. Well, a chance for us to draw breath here in the commentary box. We've arrived at quarter time. When we come back, we'll run through some of the numbers of that first term dominated by the Royals. Round 10 of the Optus WAFL season. We'll be right back after these messages.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Definitely the happier of the two camps at the moment are the Royals. They have their noses in front in this round 10 Optus WAFL season from Leederville Oval. East Perth at the first break, 4-1-25 to South Fremantle, 2 goals, 1-13. Matt Chechens and Paul Persick in commentary. And thanks to Front Row Screens for bringing us all the live pictures today. Beautiful conditions and a healthy crowd here in the lovely suburb of Leederville, Perth, WA. Thanks for joining us wherever you are around the world. And Paul, we're surprised, in a good way, obviously, the Royals kicking accurately, 4-1 leading South Fremantle 2-1 as we have a look at some of the first term highlights thanks to CD Dodd.
I must say, the delivery of South Fremantle hasn't been as good as what we would have expected pre-game, because South Fremantle have got a very good midfield and their forward line delivers very well when they've got the ball in their hands. Goals to Donaldson and Nignett, but that hasn't been enough. Shaw's been well held by the likes of North and Wilcox, as we mentioned before the game. But how East Perth are able to move the football from defence into attack, nice free-flowing football, which is more their brand on Leederville Oval, has been fantastic to see. And of course, with the likes of Wilcox, Magro, and even a Jang getting amongst the ball, along with Amajuri, who got plenty of it in that first quarter, East Perth are looking the better proposition at the moment. But South Fremantle, we know what they can do when they're under pressure. They're the reigning premiers for a reason, but they need a big second quarter if they want to get back into this one.
Yeah, you mentioned Amajuri's efforts, 8 disposals. Angus Scott has had a big impact on this one as well, Paul. 9 disposals to quarter time, and a surprising number for me, East Perth, 9-6 in the inside 50 counts. That's 5 scoring shots to just 3 scoring shots. We identified pre-game that the Royals' defence had to stand up, and they have got that out of Wilcox, who's managed to put the clamps somewhat on Nignett at this stage, and Mason Shaw leading to areas of the ground where he's not that dangerous, but as you said, the service not quite getting to him. A lot of balls hitting him around the ankles and the shins. We know that the Bulldogs are great fast starters too in first terms, but it was the Royals that jumped out quite early, and I think they can thank Chad Pearson, the Bulldogs midfield, because they're the defender for the Bulldogs has had 8 touches across half-back, but he's taken 5 marks.
But on the other side of that coin, you look at the defending of Chad Pearson, he's been magnificent.
Yeah,
Hayden
exactly.
Schloeth, only 1 touch in that first quarter. So he needs a really big second quarter if he wants to maintain the impact that he has on a game of football. Because these 3 games you talked about in the pre-game, the games against Perth and East Fremantle, he wants to put those behind him, the Sandover medalist.
We just got a perfect glimpse of what the story was in that first term. The Bulldogs winning the footy around the wing and half forward, and then basically butchering the footy inside 50 or around the arcs of 50, and just too many intercept marks at this stage for the Royals.
Absolutely, and South Fremantle, what they would have to do is slow down the tempo, because East Perth are playing a fast tempo game. They're moving the ball much more quickly than South Fremantle, with Young and Magro running right in the forward line, combining with Simpson for those goals. So the pressure's more on the Bulldogs than the Royals at this stage in this game, but the Royals, they don't want to get complacent as well, because they've built up a really good lead after the first quarter.
Paul, I mentioned during the call that East Perth, they've recorded the most amount of handballs for a team in the WAFL through season 2021. So when they're in congestion, they've got clean hands around the footy, and they can move it out the back of packs, and then they're looking to play route 1 at the moment, whereas the Bulldogs, we saw them many times, they've got good ball users across half-back, because you look at Rioli, Pearson and the like, so they can chip across the goal face as much as they want, but again, it's just breaking down across the wing areas at the moment. As Todd Curley, wasn't he a fantastic player?
Oh, he certainly
back in his
was.
day?
And a great coach he's been as well since taking over some 6 years ago, and has got a premiership last year in one of the all-time great grand finals.
Just having a look at the South Fremantle huddle, and Hayden Schloeth is actually making his way off the ground, so he'll start this second term on the interchange bench.
And also Cody not Nignett, another one of the players, because there's 2 players in lime green boots today. Cody Nignett will start in the forward line, so will Manfred Kelly, along with Shaw and Subin. There, Hayden Schloeth, as you can see, as Matty mentioned, starting on the bench. Aidan Lynch, he got a couple of good touches in there.
What a great pickup Manfred Kelly's been. I mean, he started on the interchange today. I mentioned he had 10 tackles last week against East Fremantle. It's just his 4th game. Hails from Armidale Junior Footy Club, and he's offering quite a bit, and doesn't take a backward step rather at the face of the contest, Paul.
Absolutely, he's become a very good player, developing young player for South Fremantle, and he can only get better. He's a very good footballer indeed. Second quarter about to get underway here at Leederville Oval. It's a 12-point margin in favour of the Royals. Can they build it up, or will South Fremantle go for the quick response? Going to be an important quarter for both sides. Jones and Higgins bounce favours Jones. Ball's in dispute. Dragovich, the Centurion, dispossessed. Higgins overruns it. Goes off the ground towards the half-forward line. Shaw overruns it again. Wilcox can't take clean possession. Kelly, big entry towards the forward line. High bounce up towards Mazzando. Pressure really building for the Royals here. Mazzando breaks through 2 tackles, goes for the hand pass over the top to find Eaton, releasing Wilcox. Oh, goes for the hand pass between the legs, getting pretty crafty there. Hard tackle being applied there by Subin. As Nathan Blee, the Centurion, gets East Perth out of a trough, and a courageous mark running back with the fly to the ball is Shane Hill. Hill's going to go for the hand pass. They're going to move it on quickly here. Amajuri loops it over the top. They're on again. The kick towards the attacking side of centre, and it's intercepted by the former Geelong player, Blake Schlenso, who's been in good form this season and will be watched closely by the likes of Ajang and also Edward Simpson. South Fremantle will get a move on very quickly, because look at how East Perth are pressing forward.
Nominated for the draft, didn't he?
Yes,
Schlenso, but unfortunately not too many key position players were taken.
Yeah, that's a real unfortunate thing, You've got to, make sure you get key players from different areas so you can build the team depth. Wilcox, hand pass, looking for a target. There were 2 East Perth players looking for the hand pass, but it went over the line.
He's had a couple of interesting hand passes, hasn't he? He did one, he went for the tunnel option along the ground, and then that one swept at 20 metres, almost to the boundary line.
So it'll be a throw-in on the attacking side of centre for the Bulldogs. Gee, wouldn't they love the first goal of the second term to bring the margin back to 1 straight kick. Jones works it out to the front. Main, close to the boundary line, and doesn't get himself out of stride. In fact, it was socket out of bounds on the full, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Main. Over 100 games originally from South Coogee. Great part of WA. In fact, the umpires are deliberating now whether that was out on the full. Dylan Main also having a bit of a chat as well. And it's going to be a free kick. They've reversed it. Going the way of Amajuri for East Perth. On the defensive side of centre, 12 points the difference in favour of the Royals.
Could take up acting, Dylan Main, because he put forward a convincing case that it was his free kick.
Bit of Bold and the Beautiful, maybe.
It was. Inboard to Schumacher. East Perth looking for the first goal. Ajang just got off the leash there, and he looks to play on. Narrow angle, feeds it off by hand. They close him down. Little hand pass received back to Young. Young looks to swing it back with a centering pass. Can it still work all out for the Royals? Not at this stage. So they stand up well. That's strong. Down the line. Good spoil on the football there from Masando, and out of play in East Perth through Ajang. He looked to play on. Looked to feed it off by hand, but then the player was a little bit flat-footed, and they miss a chance there, the Royals.
Well, it was all that forward pressure that the Royals are exhibiting at the moment. They're able to execute forward pressure and stop the Bulldogs' movement in transition in that attacking 50.
And that's been a hallmark of the last couple of years of the Bulldogs. So the Royals giving them a taste of their own medicine. So the ball comes in right on the paint of 50. Jones convincingly with his left hand palms it down, and the action's going nowhere. The umpire will call for the football.
It's great to see a good crowd here on Sunday afternoon football. You don't see that a lot in WAFL games, but it's a great atmosphere following up from the Derby.
Bulldogs get the clearance up towards the wing. Oh, Nignett came whistling through the contest and going to ground with the ball. There's Taylor North, and right underneath our nostrils here, there's literally stepping onto the ground is Schloeth. He'll come onto the ball from this throw-in, contested by Higgins and Jones. The two bodies collide. Jones really getting the upper hand in those knocks now. AFL superstar Subin swings it up towards Shaw. He was held. The umpire didn't think so. Back down at ground level. In goes Blee. They pile in on top of him. One of those being Abbott. No prior opportunity. Another stoppage.
At the 5-minute mark of this second quarter, Shutterguard scoreboard reads East Perth 25, Bulldogs 13. Paul Persick and Matt Chedgens with you on this Sunday afternoon. Getting a bit overcast here, but no rain forecast for the afternoon. The tap comes out. Mazzando on the paint of 50. Oh, collides there with Sparks, but he got the hand pass out. Ball's in dispute on the defensive side of centre for the Royals, and now they're able to move it quickly. The kick is a disappointing one. And for South Fremantle, the mark's taken by Noah Strong. Out on the wing, Strong concedes territory in that pass to Schlensog. And now they're going to affect the horseshoe, the switch. It's a disappointing kick into risky territory. 2-on-1 in favour of the Royals. Salmeri up against Magro. He gets the hand pass out. The Bulldogs looking to release the pressure. Mark now taken by McQuilkin. McQuilkin goes across the ground and finds Pearson. Short chip pass. And the Bulldogs will look to move it carefully across centre wing. Here's Strom. In front of our commentary position, kicks towards the attacking side of centre. Nignett spent that one before he had it. Should have taken the mark, but great effort there by Nignett to retake possession. Where is he going to go to? Goes to Bleacherton. Penetrating kick towards the forward 50. Shaw and Schloeth takes the mark. Schloeth uncontested, read the path of the ball brilliantly and took the mark on his chest. And he'll have a shot to give South Fremantle a start thereafter.
I'd love to see the GPS numbers then on Cody Nignett, because I think he ran further than his allotted meterage, but it's worked out okay. And this is really Schloeth's first opportunity to have an impact in this game, Paul.
Well, only his second touch of the football. So Schloeth from about 40 metres out goes with the drop punt, and it's across the face for a behind. Well, that's a big break. Schloeth had his best chance there, but the margin is now 11 points. 6.5 minutes in this second quarter. The Royals still hold a lead. And resetting now is going to be that man, Nathan Blee. 150 games today. It'll be a good celebration if his team can get up today, but it's still a long way to go in football. Going to move it on very quickly. Out of the back pocket, back towards left half back. Schlensog in front. Oh, bumped off it there by Jones. Hand pass comes out. Higgins caught by Young. Well played in the end by Main. Gets the snap towards half forward. Over the top goes Mazzando. Here comes Kelly. Breaks through the tackle. Snaps towards goal and he's put it through. Manfred Kelly. We mentioned his talents coming from Armidale. And he gets a vital goal to get the Bulldogs back to within 5 points. 3-2 playing 4-1 on the Shutterguard scoreboard.
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it, to see a player attack the contest at full tilt. Let's have a look at this. Off hands and just straight through like a hot knife through butter there. Wilcox, who's no slow coach either, across half back, and Kelly just made him look stationary and then finished it off perfectly. Vacant square. Kind bounce. He gets his second goal of his WAFL career.
It's only his 4th game of league football too, so he's really making an impact early in his career.
Just what they needed too. South Fremantle, they cut into that margin now, which stands at 5 points, thanks to Shutterguard. Thanks to Front Row Screens, wonderful supporters of WA sport.
The best in the business.
Anything you want, ice hockey, motor racing, you name it.
Absolute.
Perfect bounce of the football. Jones v Higgins. The former won it down. Schumacher without the clean possession, but did well to corral Higgins with the tackle. The big man stoops down, kicks them further forward. Better play now from the Bulldogs. Mazzando, good at ground level. Blee links up with Wilcox. They recede ground and end up back into the hands of Nathan Blee. Swings it out now to Wilcox. He's got an option over the top. This high handballing rate. They'll look to just steady it now with the mark, taking on the second bite. Jack Cooley, who started on the bench this afternoon. Approaching 8.5 minutes. Sando. So they haven't really been able to exit from this area of the ground. Wilcox runs past, but he's going to be ignored. So he goes long, 50 metres down the line. Tall timber. Schlensog is just too tall.
Great game Schlensog's had at the back line, taking a few crucial intercept marks when the Royals got deep towards that attacking 50.
He's a fantastic player, that's for sure, as his kick goes up towards half forward. Has that come off a series of hands? It has. Jack Cooley on the scene, putting the handcuffs immediately, and unfortunately that mark not paid to Dragovich.
We forgot to mention this pre-game. East Perth, of course, if they lose today, they'll start 1-8 for the first time since 1988. But they're looking really good to get the 4 points here, but they only lead by 5 points.
1988. You can't remember back that far, can you, Paul?
Well, it was the bicentennial year.
I was in year 3. Here come the Royals, sweeping it wide. Good disposal in the end. They rack up another hand pass. They're doing well in the tight confines. Now 3 players breaking on the arc of 50, and unfortunately the ball lands just in front of Stanley Wright, another one of the Royals who started on the interchange bench. And in fact, the umpire will call for the ball, so I've got a boundary throw in. I think if the Royals can get bite back immediately after that goal from Kelly, might just take a bit of the wind out of the sails early doors here for the Bulldogs. Well done, Higgins. That was a clever tap. A hurried kick towards Kelly through his hands. Sando met front on by Strong illegally, and rightfully winning the free kick is Massando. Will look to play on by hand, as they have done throughout the afternoon.
Kick by Sparks up towards the half-forward line. Wright overruns it. He's under pressure now. Goes to ground, but well played by Rioli, keeping his feet. He takes possession. The kick up towards the half-back line. No mark to Shaw. Royals have the numbers around the football. Wilcox kicks back towards half-forward, and a fine mark taken there. Inside the half-forward line, Stanley Wright in his 50th game this afternoon. He's got Magro inside the hot spot. Magro's kick, Wright's kick rather, is a disappointing one, and Noah Strom takes the mark, and now he's going to move it quickly. Schlensog lets that one go. The kick comes towards goal from Simpson around the corner, and it's not even going to make the distance. Mark taken on the last line of defence for South Fremantle.
I don't think we can blame Schlensog there, because the kick landed again at his shins. It must be something with that end of the ground, Paul, because all the kicks have fallen short at the moment.
Well, it's nothing to do with the breeze that's here at Leederville Oval. There's no breeze to speak of, so no excuses for goal kicking this afternoon. South Fremantle will look to build out of the situation that they're in. They only trail by 5 points at the 12-minute mark. 6 points rather now, 4-2-26 to 3-2-20. And in fact, it was a behind. In fact, it's out of bounds as well. So 26 playing 20 here at Leederville Oval on this Sunday afternoon. And like you said, Matt, if the Royals can get another goal out of this, momentum will surely be their way heading into half-time, although still a long way to go in this quarter. Be Jones and Higgins again in the ruck. Higgins this time wins the tap out. Hill overruns it. Well played there by Schumacher through traffic, but can't break through the third tackle, and he's going to be pinged. Holding the ball, Schloeth. with a great tackle, but the free kick will be taken by Jared Doney. Doney from the half-back line. He's told to move it on by the umpire. Doesn't know which way to go. He's forced to go down the line. Huge pack of players. Leaping high over the top there was Jones. Couldn't hang on to that one. Close to the boundary line, Wilcox doesn't get out of strife. And it's going to be a boundary throw-in by the Library there. City of Vincent facility. And where the fans are taking in a good view of the football on this Sunday afternoon. Higgins out in front, loses it to Jones this time. Ball goes to ground. Gill gets a clearing kick towards the half-forward line. And a fine mark taken there by Simpson. The hand pass, releasing a Royals player, and they are away. The kick towards the half-forward line. No mark. The Bulldogs back under pressure. Magro chasing Mascos, but Mascos breaks free. Gets the hand pass out. McQuilkin. And the Bulldogs can build on this setup here. It's been taken by Pearson. Pearson plays on, goes down the line towards the outer wing, and there's some holding on. And that's going to be a free kick going the way of the Royals. It'll be taken now by Jack Colley on the outer wing.
So he goes long and high inside 50. They set under the football, gathering the crumbs, but immediately wrapped up was Stanley Wright. Somehow the ball gets jarred loose.
On the ball.
And Schlenzel try to take on the tackle. Wrong area of the ground to do that. And this is a very good opportunity for Harley Sparks, who's kicked 1-1 on the season to double his season tally, originally from Deanmill, down near Margaret River, lovely part of the world. Brock Higgins has just made his way off the ground, and Janga Jang comes back on. Dragovich as well, but will stick with Harley Sparks. Can he kick his second of the season? It has the carry. Does it have the accuracy? You bet it does. Harley Sparks. So the Royals get an equaliser as such, as South Fremantle through Kelly kicked the opening goal this second term. Perfect ball drop, as you can see. The follow through was there, and it just carried the line.
Sparks is pumped up, but no wonder.
And for all of their possession in this term, South Fremantle, they've only got one goal to show for it.
And that's going to be a real stinger for the Bulldogs because they had the ball in their forward half a lot of the time in this second quarter. They started to put the Royals under pressure. They controlled the tempo, but to have it turned over with a free kick and with Sparks getting a good tackle in on a South Fremantle player and being awarded with a very good goal, that's taken a bit of the wind out of the sails out of the Bulldogs, as you said, but still a long way to go in football, but the Royals have all the momentum.
Becomes the third goal kicker, so Jaden Magro with 2, also Ed Simpson. And give a shout out to Kerry Magro as well, who says, come on Royals.
No doubt he's very happy with their performance so far.
Yeah, David William, Joe Salter and Robert Graham. Andrew Bruce as well. Thanks for joining us. Matt Chechens and Paul Persick here as we'll have another stoppage on the edge of the bullseyes. I've been impressed with their composure in front of goals this afternoon, the Royals.
It's been a key area where the Royals have really got the momentum, the way they're disposing of the football.
So ball in dispute, the edge of this square, and we'll wait on the umpire who wraps his arms to his chest. Another stoppage. So a chance just to draw breath. The Jangs moved onto the ball. Jones has been phenomenal today. Kick was falconed into the face of the Bulldogs player. Strong was on hands and knees. Somehow they get it through. Bleacherton, whistle from the non-officiating umpire has actually spotted that Bleacherton was pushed in the back, so a good decision from all of 100 metres away.
Absolutely. Bleacherton will take his kick from the half-back line. He's got nowhere to go to. He goes for the hand pass out to Pearson.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Certainly is. The forward pressure really working wonders for the Royals. The mark taken by McQuilkin.
Been impressed with him today.
He's taken a few good marks and has started to play some good football. Kicks down the line. Huge pack of players. A Jang in front, punch from behind. Mascos, one-on-one with Edwards Baldwin. Good tackle, well played by Edwards Baldwin, setting that one up for Young, and it comes out to Colley. Sidestep, he kicks towards forward 50 on his own there. The mark taken by Simpson. He can go with the hand pass out to Kerr, but he elects to go for goal himself from 50 metres out. It's not going to make the distance and punched over the line for a minor score. Nicholas Merritt. In fact, it was who made that shot. I thought it was Simpson for a moment because they both had the same hair. Out of the back line. South Fremantle can build on this entry because they need a score on the board. They need another goal to take the pressure off. They trail by 13 points, 5-3 to 3-2. Ajang in front.
Oh, great
Fine
mark.
Ajang, what a great game he's having so far.
How good is his vertical spring?
Absolutely. Ajang sends it long. It's a big kick. Huge pack of players flying. No mark taken. Mascos out the back. Breaks through one. Kicks towards the outer wing. Leaping high was Kelly. Courage in the air, but Magro put a lot of pressure on him. Close to the boundary line, and it's going to be stopped right there and then. It's going to be a ball up. And Kelly's saying, oh, why'd you let that one go?
Schloeth still just 2 possessions. Nick Subban's only had 3. And Mason Shaw has had 3 disposals. Don't think any of those inside forward 50, Paul.
And that's why that delivery from South Fremantle we mentioned at quarter time hasn't been as effective, apart from that kick where Shaw and Schloeth presented themselves as targets and Schloeth took the mark. Still couldn't hang on to that one. And now the Royals are on the move again. High kick. Magro's a target. But out the back, Schlensog rescuing the Bulldogs from another leaked score. Schlensog, centering kick. And the Bulldogs are on the move. Hand pass comes out to Spooner.
5 marks for Schlensog at the moment, so he's doing a fantastic job.
Physical pressure showing already. McQuilkin gets caught by Kerr. They want holding the ball, nothing doing. Dragovich releases Rioli, goes with a spiral punt towards right centre wing. Schumacher through traffic, hand pass in the direction of right. Overruns it. Subban. And now they're going to build here. Donny. His kick towards right, left half forward. Magro couldn't hang on to that one. The Royals building the pressure here. They'll go to Schumacher, close to the boundary line. Well kept in by Schumacher, but he's going to be caught. No, he's not. He breaks through 2 tackles, snaps around the corner. But it didn't find a target. It only found the boundary line. Out of bounds on the full. Margin 13 points.
I'll tell you what,
on the Shutterguard scoreboard.
Well, Hayden Schloeth got away with that because he caught him high as he kicked the footy, and the umpires didn't see it. So Schumacher caught one straight in the mush from Schloeth after he kicked the footy, and lucky that the veteran from South Fremantle didn't give away the free kick there.
Spooner kicking towards left half forward. Ajang flying high, gets a big error on that one, couldn't take the mark. And a fine tackle laid by Collie. And it'll be another ball up. Some leap by Ajang. My goodness gracious me. He's causing a few headaches for the Bulldogs this afternoon. Abbott there, walking to his position. He's serving as a target towards the goals. Ajang roves it brilliantly off his own knock. Breaks through one tackle, sells a bit of candy. He kicks towards the half-back line. Magro couldn't take the mark, but he was held on to. Free kick will go Magro's way on the half-back line.
Now, what on Magro, and stood under it and wore one for the team there. Lovely left foot kick of the footy. McQuill did well. Coming off the shin now. Pinball style from Merritt, and the play's been legged. Merritt not happy. Free kick coming the way of the Bulldogs now into the hands of Spooner. Looks to bring the ball into the corridor. Dragovich can use that new rule. Steps around the man on the mark. Awkward chaos bouncing ball. Nignett loves these conditions. Goes with a stiff arm. Recedes a little bit of ground with a hand pass. They're going backwards at the moment, but they're still maintaining possession. Kelly's kick left a lot to be desired out towards the outer side. Fantastic defensive work from the Royals on the far side. The hurried kick inside 50, and that contest killed. Well done to the Royals defenders there. They looked as though the Bulldogs through Nignett was going to get a rare snap on goal, but they managed to just corral all of the ball carriers in their defensive 50 and ended up with the spike out of bounds. So they dodged the bullet. 21.5 minutes have elapsed in this second term. Matt Chetchens and Paul Persick. 1 goal apiece in this second term. Ajang saw a massive fly from him. Schloeth well wrapped up in the tackle. Ajang tries to win it at ground level. They're playing soccer with it. Hand pass intercepted. Strolling into the open goal. Well, he stole it like a basketballer. Donaldson, he's had 2 opportunistic goals today. None better than that, as the little blind hand pass came out of defence, and he was right on the scene. Thanks to CD Dodd replay. Have a look at the hand pass. Read that perfectly, like a defensive back in the NFL, and strolls into the open goal. And the Royals, they've rarely put a foot wrong in defence, and they're back defensive 50 arc, Paul, and that one hurts.
It certainly does, especially with how much ball that you've got in this second term if you're an East Perth player. But South Fremantle, they took that opportunity on, and Donaldson found an opening and went with the left foot snap. A great goal it was. The margin now back to 7 points. We've got ourselves a real good game on our hands.
So some of the lesser lights in this forward line having to step up. We know that Nignett's kicked one today, but Donaldson's kicked two. And also Manfred Kelly has kicked his second of his career. So some of those bit part players, maybe not used to being in the spotlight, are really standing up tall for the Bulldogs in this second term.
2 goals to 1 in this quarter in favour of the Bulldogs. Plays being exchanged in the ruck. The tap being won by Jones, but South Fremantle have the numbers. The hand pass comes out to Schloeth. He gets it back. Going to go for the kick towards the half-forward line. Unable to hang on to that one was Abbott, but gets a good rebound and follows that up with a fine pass.
Vision.
Beautiful vision there. And finds his teammate in Bleacherton at centre half forward.
Travis Abbott, take a bow. That was superb. He could have easily blazed away, Paul. And he just had a look out the side mirror. What a fantastic kick that was.
That side mirror found a very good target, Matt. Tom Bleacherton. So this will be for a 3 goals to 1 quarter. And I'm thinking that this will be a long quarter. Get the margin out to just 1 point on the verge of half-time. Bleacherton from 49 metres out. Drop punt on its way. And he's put it through. Tom Bleacherton gets a vital goal for the Bulldogs. Margin now just a point as we are nearing half-time in this round 10 clash. Shutterguard scoreboard reads 5-3 to 5-2 here at Leederville Oval.
That's his first goal of the season too, thanks to CD Dodd. Kick 0-2 coming into this game for scoring shots, and that was gun barrel straight.
As you see on the CD Dodd replay, followed it up and knew that one was going in.
I know it's a different sport, but I mean, credit the assist there to Travis Abbott. That was superb vision.
Get a big A by Travis Abbott's name for an assist there. It was magnificent. Abbott took the mark. He should have gone for the goal because he was in space, but a great lowering of the eyes and good vision, and found Tom Bleacherton.
And you have a look at this good little glut of goals at the moment, and what's been the difference? Hayden Schloeth's been moved onto the ball, Paul. As you can see, the number 1 there.
And Higgins interchanging with Strom in the ruck. So it'll be Jones and Strom in the ruck. It's a 1-point ball game heading into half-time. Jones gets the two-handed tap. Was in dispute there between Jones and a couple of Bulldogs, and it's going to be a repeat in proceedings. Both sides will be happy with their game in the first half. Jones working that one out to the front. Tap toward Lynch. Can't take clean possession of that one, but he's dragged ground by a couple of Bulldogs players, namely Schloeth.
Bleacherton and Dragovich now 14 disposals, leading the way. Chad Pearson has 13 for the Bulldogs. And Nathan Blee doing all his work in the back half, 14 disposals for the Royals.
Royals on the overlap, but they're being pushed back by the forward pressure of the Bulldogs. Hard tackle laid on Abbott. The hand pass comes out to Wilcox. Wilcox swings onto the right foot, and that's a beautiful kick. The Royals are on again. The mark taken by Hill. Out to Blee. Forced to go back. Blee's kick in the direction of Lynch. Takes a good mark. Lynch kicks towards left half forward, and they're continuing to move the ball quickly. Long kick comes in the Simpson direction. Schlensong out the back. Courage in the air. Snatched out of there by a couple of East Perth forwardmen, and that was Young in particular. Rushes it through for a behind. Margin now 2 points at the 26-minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard. And taking the kick, that was South Fremantle. It's going to be Schlensong from full back at the city end. Schlensong hasn't got plenty of targets, so he's going to have to go long. And that's a disappointing kick. It's in the direction of an East Perth player, mainly Simpson. He snaps towards goal and puts it right through the centre. Well, that is hurting the Bulldogs there. Those costly turnovers from the defensive half, giving East Perth big opportunities. That's Simpson's 3rd goal. And East Perth get themselves back out to an 8-point lead.
2 in the first term, and this one, unforgivable error from Schlensong. He's been so reliable today, and obviously not what his intended outcome was, but Simpson right on the spot floated that, and that went high. That's ended up on Loftus Street.
Todd Curley's not going to be happy with that turnover, especially late in a half of football when the game is starting to get into balance. But that goal, really big for Jeremy Barnard's men.
It's a tough ask to be kicking in, and I'm thinking there's obviously a lot of pressure on it, but for what he's done throughout the afternoon, one little blemish for him, I'm sure he'll reset. Simpson with an absolute gift, and East Perth will take it. So margin back out to 8 points, 6-4-40 to 5-2-32. Thanks to Shutterguard.
We've got ourselves a big second half coming up.
We do. So Jones has interchanged with Ajang back onto the ball against Strong. Perfect bounce from the umpire, one down by Jones. East Perth, can they get another late one? Kick further forward from Angus Scott. Big up and under. No clean mark can be taken, but they scrag it forward somehow. Schlensog, that's better. Read the ball beautifully and just looks to barrel it out of defence, clearing his defensive line this time. Here come the Royals again. That kick's going to be up into the sun, so he asked a lot of Young. Schlensog did well, met him front on. Rioli back to collect the crumbs, met front on. Sweeps the hand pass over the top. Bleacherton, 15 disposals, make that 16 now. Schlensog back to Nignett. His kick was poor, it was smothered off the boot. Up towards Strong, trying to spin his way out of trouble. Pearson with a side suplex, you're not allowed to do that.
No, you can only do it in a wrestling ring, not in a football field.
Brett the Hitman Hart would have been, love that one as we reach half-time. And one of the most entertaining games, it has to be said, throughout 10 rounds of this season. In fact, they're going to not quite head into the changing room. There's Wilcox on the siren, unless that cops a weird kind of bounce, won't score. But what a first half that we have had. The East Perth Royals have come to play, and they are taking on the reigning premiers head on. 6-4-40 at half-time. South Fremantle 5-2-32. The thoughts very briefly of Paul Percy.
That late goal from Simpson really put the sting in South Fremantle in that first half, because the Bulldogs had plenty of the football. They had the work of Rioli, Schlensog, Stromwell, Donaldson and Miller and Kelly served the forward line well, but Shaw and Nignett not getting the ball their way. So I reckon their delivery inside forward 50 to those two key forwards need to be addressed by Curley. But the Royals, fantastic stuff. Jones and Ajang interchanging well in the ruck. Wilcox in defence along with Bleak, and also that forward combination, Simpson and Magro, catching everybody by surprise in the first half.
Well, well done to the Royals. They're making a fight of it. I'm sure the Bulldogs will look to buy it back. We have reached the main break. We're going to take a few messages from our valued sponsors. When we come back, we'll dissect all the numbers and roll through some of these highlights. Round 10, Optus WAFL action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
Clouds gathering. Have a look at that. One of the best skylines in the world.
Oh, the best skyline in the world, Matt Chechens.
That's not looking good. And considering I live in Laff Lane, I might be getting some rain later because that's probably about where it's hovering at the moment. Some of the juniors out strutting their stuff. A couple of interesting dance moves. They're getting limber. Little mini Bleacherton there. He's been good. 15 disposals, leading all ball winners on the ground through half-time. If you just joined us, where have you been? You're missing one of the contests of the 2021 Optus WAFL season. The Royals, surprisingly, out by 8 points, 6-4-40 to 5-2-32. As we have a look at some of our first half highlights, nice mark there from Jacob Masando. He's been a reliable customer across half-back. Thanks to CD Dodd. And Matt Chechens joining you here, and Paul Persick. Talk us through some of the numbers and What caught your eye?
Well, I have to say that forward line, forward line of Magro and Simpson, we overlooked them in pre-game and they're forcing us to eat a bit of humble pie. Simpson with 3 goals, Magro with 2 in the first half. They're creating that scoreboard pressure as they need to, because that back line of the likes of Maskosh, Strom and Schlensock can do a lot of damage when the ball is inside their defensive 50. But what they have done, East Perth, is they've controlled the tempo their way. It's a tempo game at the moment, and East Perth have got complete control of it. The likes of Jang, Magro, Scott, and even Blakely Fulgrave and Kai Wilcox in defence have gotten plenty of the football, and they're delivering it more effectively. They're lowering the eyes a bit more. South Fremantle, they're a bit erratic at times. Shaw and Nignett need to get the ball down their way a little bit more, because they've been held goalless combined, and it's a rarity for one of the most potent forward lines in the competition. So if I was Todd Curley, I'd be saying to them, reassess the forward structure, because this is not good enough from their point of view. And no wonder you said their final quarters have not been good. They've only won 1 or 2 final quarters across the season so far. So Todd Curley will give a stern address to his players for the second half. Jeremy Bernard will be very happy with his side, but must warn them they cannot get complacent in the second half, because they've built up a good first 40 minutes of football.
So for the team in front, they've been led by Ed Simpson. 3 goals, 2 of those in the first term, and a gift in the latter stages of that second term. 2 goals also to Jaden Magro, who's been a high impact player today. And then Harley Sparks getting a goal as well, the man from Dean Mill down in the south of WA. And then for South Fremantle, they've been led by Brandon Donaldson, a couple of opportunistic goals. He has 2. Manfred Kelly has 1, Cody Nignett, and also Tom Bleacherton from a set shot. Let's have a look at some of the other numbers. I mean, East Perth dominated the inside 50s at quarter time. It was 9-6, but then they've really opened up that number at half time. It currently stands at Fremantle 17 more marks. They're looking to possess the footy, but when we see the team in black and blue get their hands on the footy, they look to move it quickly by hand. Absolutely. And they're getting deep entries inside 50.
And that's what I talked about, a tempo game. They're controlling it a lot more their way with the way they are moving the football. They've had less kicks, but more handballs. No wonder they are the leading side in handballs at the moment. Their rebound 50s, they're trailing by 5, but it's resulted in more scoring opportunities. One of the best goals, as you see there, ladies and gentlemen, by Manfred Kelly, just broke through 2 tackles and found an opening with a great snap towards the goals. But the way South Fremantle have been able to hold their nerve, though, in that defence, with a couple of good intercept marks from Blake Schlensock. He's been one of the best for the Bulldogs in this game, considering how many inside 50s the East Perth Royals are getting in this first half.
And some of the other numbers, Scott Jones dominating Brock Higgins at the moment, particularly in the hit-outs game, 24-10, Paul, at half-time, and giving his East Perth on ballers first use of the football. Nathan Bleed leading the way with 15 touches, and Bleacherton also with 15 for South Fremantle. They're the leading ball winners. Hill has had a big impact as well for the Royals, and a man that they're going to need to put the handcuffs on at half-time.
He's formed a good core of that mid-forward potency combination with a Jang and also Magro. Hill, he's been wanting to get desperate at the contest, and he's done that. He's won a lot of the football at ground level, and he's followed that up with good balance and effective disposal. So watch out for Hill, and South Fremantle, with the players like Pearson and Bleacherton, are really going to have to limit his impact in the second half if they want to get back this lead.
And that was a rare error from Schlensock that allowed Simpson just to wheel around on the right boot, and Magro all over him there. As the faithful here at Leederville Oval getting a bit of health food in, bit of milk, bit of calcium. Gotta love the Mr. Whippy.
Gotta love the Mr. Whippy van at half time.
Our producer Matt Williamson assures us that it's actually good for you. It is calcium after all. Another fixture earlier in round 10. It is a split round, just 2 fixtures. Yesterday, Claremont running over the top of the Thunder by 7 points. Peel led by 10 points at 3/4 time, but the Tigers kicked 5-2 on the back of Jack Buller's 4 goals, and Jai Bolton, another favourite for the Sandover, 35 touches.
Buller's a good young forward. I see some tremendous potential. I've called a couple of his games this season, and he is very impactful on the score, but he can kick around 3 or 4 goals a game. But now, Matty, it's time for you to throw to our special halftime package.
And also, we're just going to have a quick game of paper, rock, scissors. Who does the run to the Mr. Whippy van at half-time, and that'll be you, Paul.
Oh, turn it up.
But with the help of Optus, let's take a look at AFL Premiership player Will Schofield's return to the WAFL. It all starts with yes.
I started my career here in Western Australia. I played most of my first year at Peel. It was kind of a good transition between junior footy for me And then AFL, it was that middle ground where I sort of grew up a little bit. And it was why I was keen on coming back here. I really felt like that did have a lot to do with me developing not only as a footballer but as a man.
So Hawthorn have done it.
Probably took a long time to get over 2015. When you make a grand final, you think it's the best thing ever. And then when you lose it, you realise it actually could be the worst day of your life. 2015 was just a horrible day. It took almost 3 years to get back there. 2018 was life-defining for me. My best mate was killed in a bike accident. After round one, went to the funeral in Victoria. Pretty much considered not coming back to AFL. I had my first child in June of that year, so that was a real wake-up call for me, and it was great. Fatherhood, changed me a lot. It was a huge roller coaster ride for me that year. Really feeling like my whole AFL life, it was all just gone, and I missed the opportunity. I was not going to get the opportunity to validate my work by playing in a premiership. I wanted that opportunity to, in my mind, validate my worth as a player, but as a person.
The Eagle has landed for the Premiers in 2018.
Having won, it certainly helped that, but I've definitely come to realise your value isn't what you are as a player, it's what you are as a person.
Yeah, well, really, when Scully decided to finish up playing at AFL level, I think he was lured naturally back to Peel, because this is where he played his football before he played AFL, and he felt the sense of the community down here, and he's got a young family. So from what I can understand, it was quite an easy decision for Will to come back to the club, and yeah, we're definitely thankful that we've got him.
Like sort of any player that comes out of the AFL, you're exposed to an elite level of everything really that comes with AFL. Training, diet, mentality, you name it, we've seen it at AFL level. So I guess some guys go into coaching, and not really for me. I don't really see myself as a coach, but I do like teaching, and I like leading young men.
I know he's really optimistic about the young talent that's coming through here at the club. So it's been great for him to run our emerging leaders program with our Colts and our senior emerging leaders. There's no doubt that he'll help those guys develop.
I do it fortnightly. We work through everything I've learned as an AFL footballer. So it's a little bit of a masterclass for them on leadership, but really it's about being a better man and leading better as a person, understanding yourself, and giving you a platform to succeed. If the guys go out and get drafted, I'd be proud, but it would be awesome to see. But if they come out and they've learned something and they're able to be a better person outside the footy club, well, I've probably played my role.
We zoom from the crowd that is enjoying a Sunday afternoon of football. That was, of course, our special Optus WAFL package on Will Schofield on his return to the WAFL. It's great to see him lending his experience in football to some of the young kids, the stars of tomorrow in the WAFL and in the WA football scene in general. Half-time here at Leederville Oval as the Little Leaguers have a little bit of fun on the ground. 6-4-40 plays 5-2-32. East Perth by 8 points. And we had a bit of a curtain raiser as well in the WAFL W as Matt Chechens rejoins me in the commentary box. We also had a curtain raiser today on front row screens. It was Peel Thunder and Claremont in the WAFL W in a very important game. It was indeed the final round, an important game for Claremont in order to snatch back third place from Subiaco, because yesterday here at this ground we had Subiaco victorious over East Fremantle. And once I get the scores up here, we can confirm that it was a pretty decent game over there at Claremont Oval, with the stakes being quite high for the Tigers in the context of this game, and they did win over there at Revo Fitness Stadium, Claremont, but only by 7 points, much like the league game. The same margin, Matty, 6-4-40 to 4-9-33, so that'll mean Claremont will host a semi-final against Subiaco, and the other will be hosted by Swan Districts up against Peel Thunder in the WAFL W, and that'll be next week. So a big WAFL W finals kicking off next weekend, Matty.
Yeah, and time for the Tigers to cash in on that list as well. They've had a very impressive mix of players over the years and not really much reward as far as trophies, so they'll be looking to go one better this year.
Absolutely, but I have to say, you can't go past Swan Districts in WAFL W. Finishing off with season 14-1 would be really big for Adam Dancy and his side.
Speaking of Swan Districts, they're a chance for the Rodriguez Shield halfway through the season. They haven't won that since the year of my birth, 1980.
1980, can you believe it?
Yeah, that's where I think it's 10 points awarded for a league win. Correct. And then 4 points for a reserves and a Colts win. They are right in the mix along with Subiaco, obviously, and Claremont. But, I mean, coming from where they did from last year across all competitions, a couple of wooden spoons in there in the reserves and possibly the Colts, and now their Waffle W team is turned their fortunes around, so they are just trending in the upwards direction.
Their recruiting has been simply brilliant in the off-season. Their talent has been really good. They've shone brightly under Adam Pickering in the league side, and they deserve to be where they are in fourth place. And what a game they have next week against West Perth. We'll be back after the break with all the second half action here at Leederville Oval, live on front row screens. East Perth leading by 8 points heading into the second half.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
The Lime Green Brigade making their way back out on to Leederville Oval. We've got bright sunshine, but there are dark, ominous clouds to the right of our screen as we've got a budding young goal umpire there, just on the line at the moment. His team, clearly, the Bulldogs, have got a bit of work to do if they're able to come the team on screen currently out for their warm-ups. They have a surprise 8-point lead here in round 10 of the Optus WAFL season for 2021. 6-4-40 to 5-2. 32. Matt Chechen's calling the action today, and joining me, Paul Persick. How do you see the second half playing out, Paul?
I see it as much as the first half. Very close, very tight. It's been a game of a lot of pressure from both sides, especially from South Fremantle, who are wanting to keep a third place on the ladder. But the way they're delivering, they've been caught off guard by an East Perth side that are really desperate to get a second win on the board. They're hungry under Jeremy Bernard, and they're looking more ferocious at the football.
So East Perth just beginning their warm-ups. Nathan Blee there on screen, and Magro, both of those men there, the number 10 and to his right, the 18. Magro, 2 opportunistic goals. He's a fantastic player. Doesn't get a lot of the football, but when he does, he usually impacts the play.
He absolutely does. He's an effective player, but there are a couple of others that could really step up in their position. Bradley Fulgrave, he's got a few touches, but I'd like to see him get a bit more. He's a very good defender, but as we see South Fremantle come onto the ground to start their second half, Bleacherton and Nignett, they'll look to make an impact again. Hayden Schloeth, he's been held to limited touches in this first half. Tom Bleacherton, you talked about him during the first half, Matty. He's kicked a couple of goals. He kicked his first goal of the season in that second quarter, and he'll look for a couple more across this second half because he can be damaging inside the half-back line and also playing a bit up forward.
And that man on screen right there, right on cue, as he starts his warm-ups. He had 15 touches to half-time, so he's leading the Bulldogs in that category. They need to start generating some more inside 50. So they've had a lot of possession, a lot of marks backward of the bullseye. So basically in their defensive half at the moment, a lot of chip and kick marks across half back. But then it seems as though the first half their disposal needs to clean up in this second term. We saw a rare error from Schlensog there on screen, but he has just been one of the better marking players on the ground, and he has been a revelation for the Bulldogs.
We talked about their inside 50 entries, but it's the way they deliver the football inside that 50 that is make or break for South Fremantle in this third quarter. We talked about the service for Shaw, and yet, let me be blunt, it has been poor. And that's allowed North and Cooley to make those intercept possessions count from the defensive 50. And that man on your screen, Edward Simpson, what an impact player he's been in the first half. 3 goals, and making it, of course, 16 goals in his last 6 games. He's coming into some red-hot form just at the right time.
Yeah, started the first 2 games in the reserves. He's kicked 16 goals too, on the season. He's already bettered his performance against the same opposition. So back in round 6, in that narrow 7-point loss, he kicked 2. He's already gone 1 better there. And then on screen there is Jones, the big man, number 7. He's dominating the hit-outs at the moment. That's no mean feat, coming up against one of the league's best in Brock Higgins. But he has 24 hit-outs at the moment. Higgins has 10. He's been well held today, but he's also a pretty mobile big man around the ground, lumbers around the ground. And then you've got Ajang. We saw some just, quite frankly, ridiculous athleticism from Ajang.
That guy's a freakish athlete. That guy's a freakish athlete. He can leap high as above the Skywest 32 tower here in Perth. I mean, he's a good overhead mark, and he's very quick on his feet for a big man too. Just quickly, just before we get into the action, a couple of shout-outs from Facebook page feedback. Of course, Matthew Yeats up the Sharks. Well, the Sharks ain't playing today, Matty. I think you got the wrong team. But Corey Catherall, he's watching all the way from the Sunshine City in Brisbane. Oh, lovely. And he says, go the Royals. Jack Spratt, Manfred Kelly and Harley Sparks, a couple of good names there, and also former Claremont player Eddie Simpson. He's showing his support behind him. So shout out to all who are offering feedback through the comments on our Facebook live streams as well. It's great to hear from the fans as well who are watching these games.
It is, and you've got more of those than I do, Paul, so congratulations. As we see the Bulldogs huddle, we're not writing them off, are we? Because they are a class act.
Well, they are. Well, even though they're not a four-quarter side, some may say, they do show their class when it mattered. You know, that especially in situations under pressure. It won them those finals games, including the preliminary against West Perth and the grand final last year against Claremont. Now, despite their overall records, you have a look at the fourth quarter form of these teams, and this is just the numbers. South Fremantle, the second worst in the WAFL. So the only team worse than them is the West Coast Eagles reserves. We know that they've been on the back of a few hidings this year, but as a fourth quarter team, they've only won 2 fourth terms. That's right. And lost 6. And you have a look at East Perth, despite their only 1 win coming against West Coast, they've been 4-4. So even though they've suffered a couple of blowout losses and tight losses, they are generally a fourth quarter team. So you would think the goal for the Royals is to get to 3-quarter time with their noses in front, and they could be a red-hot chance to overrun the Bulldogs. So this third quarter is going to be big for the Royals, like you said, Matt, and that's a very good point you make. South Fremantle are going to have to put on the afterburners right away in this third quarter. Sticking with the Bulldogs tip, Paul? I'm sticking with the Bulldogs, but only just. They need to be in front at 3-quarter time. Both sides aren't going to make it easy for each other. Here we go. I'll give you my tip at 3-quarter time. Third quarter about to get underway here at Leederville Oval. Paul Persick and Matt Chechens with you. Jones and Strom in the ruck. Jones gets the first tap out. In fact, it's Miller in the ruck, mind you. Tap out to Lynch. Gets the first clearing kick for the Royals. It's out to half forward. Big punch away into the path of Miller. He gets caught in a good tackle. Roving it is Schumacher and Lynch, who's at ground level. Schumacher stopped in his tracks by Dragovich. And we'll have ourselves a ball up on the Shutterguard scoreboard. The margin 8 points. Is that considered a pit stop, Schumacher? Yes. Stopped in traffic. Yep, stopped in traffic, Schumacher. Just like Michael, he's very quick indeed. Schumacher, hand pass intercepted by Abbott, but he's caught and he was high. Free kick is going to go Abbott's way on the defensive side of the centre square. The hand pass comes out to Donaldson. Going to open it up across the ground. South Fremantle will be looking for that first goal. Important in the context of this game as Mascos takes the mark. Looking for the overlap hand pass. He elects to go short down the ground and finds Donaldson. Donaldson on left centre wing, just by the hills. And they're going to be forced to go back again. McWilkin. They're going to go for the switch. Strom. And that's a lovely kick by Strom, finding Pearson. Pearson hasn't got a lot of options. He's being forced back. Good pressure there by Merritt. The pass comes in back to Strom. And they're going to flick the switch again. They did it once before. It didn't work. They're looking to go for it a second time. And this time it works. They find some space. The ball sits well for Bleacherton. Goes for a dash and kicks towards left half forward. And a good mark taken there. The hand pass releases Subin. Inside the 50, out towards Schloeth. Good spoil by Amajuri. And well played in the end by North to crumb that one out of defence. Snaps around the corner, but it's turned over. Bleacherton takes the intercept marked on the left half forward flank. Going to send it long. Shaw out the back. Does he take the mark? No. Good punch from behind Amajuri. And it'll go over the line for a throw in. The sun breaks clear here at Leederville Oval. Start of this third quarter. Off the street end at the ground. And the ball will be thrown in about 30 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. They love that first goal on the board to stem the momentum here. Jones wins that one against Miller. Bleacherton gathers, centering kick towards the full forward zone. Strom out the back, but well played in the end by Donaldson. Shoots towards goal and gets the start the Bulldogs were after. Donaldson gets his third goal and a great start for the Bulldogs in this third quarter. They restrict the margin back to 2 points.
All three of his goals too, Paul, have been just opportunistic. Thanks to CD Dodd. Have a look at this. Bleacherton, almost best on ground for the Bulldogs, and have a look at that. That roving skills, judging where the ball's coming off the fingertips, and isn't he happy? Big pack of Bulldog supporters just in that right forward pocket at the moment. Vincent Street and he's kicked 3, 1 in each term. He's providing to be the live wire.
He certainly is, and it's a much needed one, because if you've got Shaw and Nignett off form in one game, Donaldson, he's got the speed inside the forward 50 and he's got that added flair.
Fantastic work from the Bulldogs, just what the doctor ordered. Ball back in the middle. Kwinana Junior Footy Club. I'm sure that club produced Daniel Wells, another fantastic live wire half forward.
Certainly was.
The umpires have been perfect with their bouncing today. One down by Jones, crumbs gathered by Lynch. They turn it over. The Bulldogs, can they wrestle the lead back into their favour? Kick up towards Nignett, goes with the one hand, through a set of legs. Kelly, clever hand pass inside to Nignett. Oh, the high fend off, that's a free kick. It's a little overzealous. His lateral speed is phenomenal, Nignett, but the stiff arm straight to the face of Kai Wilcox, who's been, I think, in the best 3 for the Royals today. They get on with the play. They move it via right boot of Lynch. They could be out on this outer side. So just a one-on-one inside 50 at the moment. 2 bounces through the outer side. Good closing speed from Rioli. Oh, somehow the mark is taken. Well, it was Edwards Baldwin who thought, I don't need to stay on my feet, I'll have a seat. And he takes it sitting down.
That has to be the funniest mark I've ever seen in football on the CD Dodd replay.
Have a look at this. He lost his feet and thought, no, I'll just take it sitting. And Schloeth turns around, and we won't repeat what he can say. You don't need to be an expert lip reader. But he's not happy with the pressure further up the ground. I'll tell you what, that's a rare mark. You won't see many of those. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 this season out of Kingsley Junior Footy Club. Thomas Edwards Baldwin hasn't really had a look at it today. 30 games in the WAFL. And the immediate response for the Royals is on the table. Does he want to take it? Hangs it out to the right, just missing. And a minus score. Well,
even though that mark was sitting, Edwards Baldwin mark surely has to figure in mark of the year.
Yeah. I'm sure the person that delivered it said it was all in part of the plan. So Schlensog elects not to go short. Look at that, perfect kick. So he's regained his confidence, good to see. Bulldogs moving it out of side. That kick hangs in the air a long time, but Dragovich sweeps it wide with a hand pass. The Bulldogs are out on the outer side now. Ball brought down to ground level. They move it into Blee, touch 16 for him. Just indiscriminately throws it onto the right peg, back in the hands of Dragovich. South Fremantle looking to be composed. Spearing ball down the outer side. Was that a push? Yes, it was. Right on the scene there. Lewis Jago, and rightfully gives the free kick to the Bulldogs.
It's on the half, on the attacking side of centre. Free kick's going to be taken by Abbott. Long kick towards the forward 50. In front, Jones takes a good mark, and they're going to move it on quickly. The kick, very hesitant. East Perth doing everything they can, drag themselves out of the trough. Fine mark taken there. Right. Nathan Blee, his 150th game. High kick, 2-on-1. Bulldogs have the numbers, but the Royals get it out of congestion. Edwards Baldwin takes the mark. He's got Magro for the hand pass. Nobody in the square. Bombs it long towards the forward 50, and it's going to go over the line. Out of bounds on the full. Nobody in the square, leaving the area completely vacant. Magro had every right to go for the goals, but the kick was just a bit off.
Yeah, and it's just landed inside the paint in that forward pocket, so probably the desired result other than a goal for Magro.
3 points the difference at the 8-minute mark of this third quarter on the Shutterguard scoreboard. It's been a great game thus far. Hill unfavoured by the bounce, and the Bulldogs now get clear through Main. Kick into space, but the Royals have more around the football. kick comes from Collie. Beautiful kick, switching up the play. And again, that man Blee. He's been everywhere this afternoon. Centres it to Lynch. Lynch's kick towards centre half forward. And a good kick finding Jones. The hand pass comes in. The Royals have another important entry with the one hand. No mark. Pearson does well. Gets it back. And will send the Bulldogs out of defence. The kick. And that's close to the line. North unfavoured by the bounce. Good composure by Subin. Around the corner goes Subin to the path of Nignett. Good pick up on the second attempt. Smart kick in board and finds Main. Main's kick up towards the forward 50. Oh, it's partially smothered. Miller and Kelly combining. Hand pass over the top. And the Royals again with another intercept possession. The kick towards right half forward. Simpson, he's got Young roaming loose inside the forward 50. He goes in the Young direction. Can he mark? Yes, he does. Fine mark by Matthew Young. And he got one to go on with. But Young will get the kick, but it's going to be from a very tight angle.
The best part of that, Paul, is that he sprinted all of 50 metres to offer that lead. So well done to Young, and then has the composure to bring it in board.
But this will be a very tough kick indeed. But also, in the meantime, Young had the audacity to go for the short pass, and it is Shane Hill that takes the mark. So while we were looking at the Young mark, Young was able to centre the ball towards Hill.
Kicked 4-4 on the season, Paul, so going at 50%.
So Hill from 48 gives it everything he's got. A good kick, but sways to the right. And it is a behind. 4 points the difference now at the 9-minute mark of this third quarter on the Shutterguard scoreboard. Only one goal being scored thus far by Donaldson at the 3-minute mark. Royals leading by just 4 points.
They've kicked 2 goals, 5 since the first term, East Perth, after kicking 4 goals, 1. So they're starting to be a little stray in front of the big sticks. South Fremantle definitely not a team that you can afford that kind of luxury to. Schlens, rather, that's Miller on the stretch. Back in board. They pump it down this broadcast wing up towards Shaw. I have to have a look at the numbers shortly because I don't think he's taken a mark today. Could be a rarity for him.
No mark for Shaw at the moment.
Yeah. Beautiful setting here at the moment in Leederville. The rain staying away for now. Slapped down by Miller. Beautiful hand pass. Received there by Hill. He kicks for territory more than anything. Down towards half back, and some of the East Perth faithful begging for the free kick. But Noel Strom managed to disguise that well, as the players do now. It's almost an art now to try and fumble the ball over the boundary line. Shallow throw in. Majang just shoves Jimmy Miller out of it. Hill went without the football. Has to go back and recollect to Sparks through heavy traffic. Met head on is Schumacher. Is that going to be prior disposal?
High tackle.
No, it's going to be a high tackle from Schloeth. Either him or Miller.
It was Miller.
Yep. So let's have a look. He's got nothing on short. So Schumacher's just going to load up from 50 to a one-on-one at the teeth of goal, and Schlensog does enough. Allows that ball to carry the line and through for a minor score. So again, the Royals inaccurate in front of the goals. Will it come back to bite?
Well, who knows? It's still early in this third quarter. Schlensog will set things up for the Bulldogs. He's been told to get a move on by the umpire. Wright comes in for a bit of pressure. Kick towards the back pocket. Leaping high is Fulgrave. He couldn't take the mark. Players converging on that ball. The umpire says, give that one to me. Be a ball up on the left half forward line for the Royals. Since half-time, they've only managed 3 behinds. The Bulldogs have got that goal through Donaldson. Jang takes it out of the ruck, just gets his kick in time. It's high towards the 50. Chain of hand passes releases Bleacherton for the Bulldogs. And now they switch up the play. Bulldogs have got the numbers. Donaldson's one of them at the front of the ball. Under pressure from Kerr. Beautiful hands. Out to Spooner. Spooner kicks towards the half-forward line. Nignett and Wilcox. Wilcox, good physical pressure. Mazzando from the back. Hand pass over the top, finding Sparks. And the Royals are clear. Kerr back to Wilcox. And it's out towards left centre wing. And they can move things on. They've got a couple of players loose on the half-forward line. Short pass comes in back to Sparks, who run in unchecked from left half back. Margin now 5 points in favour of the Royals. In a tight contest thus far. Good kick, finding Merritt. Back in the side this week. Merritt is about 80 metres out from the Royals' goal. They badly need one. Kick to the hot spot. Out towards the forward zone, and it's spoiled away towards the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in.
Little scrappy this half, as opposed to the first half.
Yeah, it has been.
Particularly by hand.
It has been. You know, a few ineffective handballs has really put the pressure on both sides. But that goal from Donaldson, we thought it was going to mount a comeback for the Bulldogs, but the Royals have got it locked in inside their forward 50, and despite those three behinds, they're keeping the pressure on the Bulldogs as it's thrown in. Ajang, hand pass out, goes to Edwards-Baldwin from the corner. But it's being marked under pressure by the Bulldogs defender. And he's going to send it back out towards the left half back flank. Abbott. And he's caught in a good tackle, gets the hand pass out in time. Bleacherton over the line. And we'll have a throw-in. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving there. Oh, Travis Abbott giving Hill a little bit there, but the umpire's saying, all right, that's enough, boys, get on with it.
I like that intensity at the moment because the game is up for grabs. 13 scoring shots to 8, but only a 5-point margin. Jang out-muscled this time by Strom. Brought it down to the foot of that contest.
High tackle.
And there's going to be a free kick given away by Maine.
There's been a few of those that have been given away by the Bulldogs when they're starting to move things out of that defensive 50.
So Amajuri with ball in hand. He was superb in that opening term. 8 disposals. That's going to go over the head of its intended target. Backtracking, dispossessed with a good tackle was Noah Strong. And the ball just trickles over the paint in the left forward pocket. As we see Big Strong. A lot of congestion around this boundary throw-in. Can the Royals pinch one? One down by Strong. Beautiful little palm down, and they can get out of trouble. Up towards a Jang, let from behind, spoilt the footy. Kick in board from Angus Scott. Dangerous kick in towards the corridor. Here's Blee, links up by hand. Do they want to take the advantage? They do. So he loads up from 50. He's going to push out to the right. And through for a minor score. So again, they further open up that lead, but only by the paper cut margin, the 1 point.
And that sees Perth's fourth behind in this third quarter.
An even 6-point lead now as the Bulldogs look to bring it in. That'll be into the sun. Tracking back the footy there is Shaw, still yet to record his first mark. Here's Masando. Plenty of room for him to operate. Little chiseling ball over the top. And this is in the hands of Ed Simpson, who is fair to say is too far out to score. So he lowers the eyes, spears it into the pocket. Fantastic contested mark.
It's Hill.
Yeah, it was. And he was, well, he was giving up a few centimetres in height, that's for sure. Standing at 176 centimetres, just feeds it off to a teammate who flying shot for goal will be pushed through and rushed for a behind. 5 of those now for the turn. Magro, probably no better flying shot for goal, so it was probably the right option in the end, Paul.
But every score for East Perth has put a little bit more pressure on South Fremantle, because we talked about at half-time, if they are in front at three-quarter time, South are going to find it a bit difficult. Having said that, they've still got the class and composure to wrap a game up.
So that mark before, taken by Hill, giving up 22 centimetres. Marked it beautifully. So another stoppage on the outer side as we get a close look there of Regan Spooner. Started the game on the Pine. Looking to impact the game now. Midway through this third term. Matt Chechens and Paul Persick bringing all the action. Bit of a skew with boundary throw in. Didn't allow either ruck to get a run at the footy. Now spun in a very good tackle, and holding the ball was Subin. So another chance for them to load up. Masando received the hand pass. The umpire's getting a little pedantic, wants the mark reset, and that's a bit fortunate, I think, for East Perth, because they looked to play on quickly through Young, and Masando got wrapped up in the tackle. So he has to kick to a contest through the arms of Simpson. South Fremantle trying not to give away the free kick, but that's a strong double tackle and no prior opportunity. They'll have to scrape Shane Hill up off the deck, and we've got another stoppage inside forward 50.
6-9-45 plays 6-2-38 here at Leederville Oval. We're approaching 17 minutes. Tapped by Simpson, releasing a South Fremantle play. It's kicked towards the defensive back half. Overrunning it is Sparks, and getting one to go on with there by Strom. He'll have a ball up.
He's had to step up his work rate in this term. He's covered a lot of ground, Strom.
Certainly has them playing a bit in the ruck as well, rotating with Rock Higgins and Jimmy Miller. Boundary throwing on the forward half. Jones and Miller. Jones wins out. Tries to rove it off his own knock. Caught in a good tackle. Barrage of players converging on the football. And we'll have another stoppage. 6-9 playing 6-2. Here at Leederville Oval. Sun's breaking free. We've had a gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in Perth. And a very good day for football. Jang goes at ground level. Hard tackle being applied by Wright, and the umpire says, I'll have it again. Elapsing 18 minutes in this third quarter. Up forward is Simpson, Merritt, and also Hill inside that forward 50 for the Royals. Stoppage after stoppage for a moment. It's been a game of that in this third quarter. And every stoppage, from one point of view, would be good for the Royals. Having said that, it will also be a good chance for South Fremantle reassessing their structure in order to get their clearance game going. Jang at ground level. Hand pass only as far as Young, but there's a free kick. And it's going to go the way of the Bulldogs, I think it is. No, it's against the Bulldogs rather. And it was by non-officiating umpire down the field. And the free kick is going to be taken by Blee.
Yeah, sometimes the umpires can confuse us up here because they point to the player that needs to get the free kick and we think that it's going the other way. So a bit of calisthenics keeping us on our toes.
Absolutely, as Nathan Blee.
He's been good.
Been fantastic in this game thus far as Blee long towards the hot spot, punched away and over the line, and it'll be a throw in at about 30 metres out.
And that was a fantastic sport from Schloeth getting the high five.
Well, apart from that one blemish late in the second quarter, he's played a really good game. A former Geelong listed defender, delisted after only a few games with the Cats. Now back at South Fremantle, he's really showing his potential.
Tough team to crack into just quietly.
Absolutely, with the reigning premiers.
And some of their backmen in the past too, with Harry Taylor obviously, similar build.
Simpson snatches it out, gets a high ball. They don't gain any meterage there, and it's going to go over the line again. Wanting deliberate, but nothing doing, according to the umpires. It'll be a throw-in, and they'll be about 40 metres out from the Royals' goal. One goal here for the Royals would really throw a sting in the tail. From their point of view, Young. It's the hand pass out. Doesn't cover a lot of ground. Lynch at ground level, as is Schumacher. Team tackle involving Kelly.
I mean, the Bulldogs have kicked the only goal, as we know, through Donaldson, another opportunistic. But they'd be content with just stoppage after stoppage at the moment, soak up a bit of pressure and try and hit them on the break.
Simpson at ground level. Well played by Main, but that's another free kick against the Bulldogs.
A little bit of ill discipline creeping in. They've given away a few free kicks across half forward in this term, Paul.
Especially when they're starting to get things moving out of defence. So the free kick is going to go the way of Simpson, who's kicked 3 goals this afternoon.
He's breathing heavy at the moment, but looks a little ginger. I'm not going to write him off, but I suggest that they'd want to get more than 2 players back on the line.
Well, they've got a Jang back on the line, as is Hill and Merritt. Simpson's going to give it absolutely everything. They lead by just 7 points. Is to make it 13. Simpson from on the 50. It's high, it's long, and it's across the face for a behind.
No issue with the distance, did he?
He did cover the distance, but the accuracy just wasn't there. It's now 8 points. 6-10 to 6-2. 46 plays 38 here at Leederville Oval. Chechens and Paul Persick with you in the commentary box for what is an important game on this Sunday afternoon as Schloeth sets it up for the Bulldogs. Baldwin right leaks, but punched away by McCulkin from behind. And it'll be a throw-in just outside the Royals' 50.
Tell you what, if we had a look at the heat map just for this term, it'd be bright red across both sides of half forward for the Royals at the moment, dominating the territory game at the moment, but not necessarily on the scoreboard. So an important, probably 6 to 7 minutes here in the context of this round 10 fixture. Subin links up by hand. Dragovich into a one-on-one. Strong, trying to lead the charge. Trying to catch up with him was North, but he just gets sped away from. Can they hit him on the break? We called it before, not this time. And Angus Scott back with the flight of the ball, much like an outfielder on the boundary.
You could take a few catches yourself on the cricket field.
No, not when I'm at fine leg, mate. That's about the extent of my fielding skills. No Josh Gray, that's for sure. One of the greatest wicket keepers I've ever played with. Ball comes out wide at the feet of Amajuri. Some of the locals calling for the higher tackle. He might get done holding the ball, and he does. So let's have a look at this. I mean, the inside 50 count would be well over 15 for this term, you might even think. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but South Fremantle through Schloeth. He's such a deadly player with ball in hand. Chisels one, peels one off to the paint of attacking 50. Jared Doney, yep.
Shaw's deep in the forward line.
All the players looking into the sun, so this could be a bit of a chaos ball, but he's going to come back laterally to his left, running from off the interchange bench. Kick was smothered, so the Royals somehow stand up. Now they've got numbers around the contest. Magro's screaming for the ball at the interchange gates, going to get to him. Here it comes by hand. They link up now. Magro's still there. He receives it now. He'll be closed down by Strom. Hand pass over the top to Hill. He steps through traffic, looks to the big man, but Schlensol gets back. Couldn't take the mark. Well done, Jones. Oh, the slick hands to Young, too hot to handle. Young corrals Kelly in a good tackle. Dragovich receives ground to Pearson. Can he have a steady head? Well, you bet he can. And back into the hands now of McQuilkin, whose earlier kick was smothered. Does better this time to Pearson. Relieves the pressure now. Spooner. They play the horseshoe. They swing it back between the wing and half back. They look more centrally now. And finally, Shaw gets hit up with the lead. 3 kicks from home, unfortunately for him. Now, 2-on-1 favours the Bulldogs out here. They could be in. So they cross the paint of 50. Vacant square. That's a poor kick over the head of its intended target and allowed the defender in Nathan Eaton to just sit under and take the intercepting mark.
Started from the bench, Eaton, and he's had not a lot of impact as he should, but when he's got the ball in his hand, he can be very effective. Wilcox, Lynch, this is Merritt. In front of our commentary position, kicks towards the attacking side of centre. Up goes Ajang, couldn't take the mark. Good recovery by Ajang, sells a little bit of candy too. Does so again. Hand pass out to Jones, and now East Perth can get on a roll again. Sparks. From the left half forward flank, kicks towards the attacking 50. Up they go. They both had courage to go at that one, but the Bulldogs have that all-important rebound possession. Out of that defensive 50, the kick goes towards Strom, and he takes a good mark. Ajang has been magnificent thus far this afternoon. The Bulldogs will go down the line. Strom's kick finding Bleachin. Margin now 8 points. We've played 25 minutes in this third quarter. It's been scrappy this third quarter, but the game is going to be heading for a grandstand finish. Make no doubt about it, ladies and gentlemen, as the punch comes in from Abbott on North. And North getting a bit of high contact there, awarding the free kick to Abbott. It's on the outer wing of Leederville Oval. Now look to build up a really good entry inside this forward 50. Abbott, he elects to go for the short pass, but 2 or 2-on-1. Interesting kick. Lynch, supported by Wilcox. Mazzando, caught in the tackle, but well stood up, got the hand pass out to Schumacher. Ajang breaks through one, but the kick is an absolute shocker. 3 Bulldogs around the football. Good team tackle. Strom, high kick towards centre half forward. No mark to Shaw. Donaldson with a quick kick, partially smothered. Another defensive turnover inflicted by the Royals. That service inside forward 50 hasn't worked wonders for the Bulldogs, as there's the siren. And we are in for a grandstand finish, ladies and gentlemen. The margin now 8 points, 6-10 plays, 6-2. No goals for the Royals in that third quarter. Donaldson had the only goal for the Bulldogs. But that hard pressure the Royals applied all in that third quarter, Matt Chedgens, could be telling in the final quarter, given how poor South Fremantle's final quarter record has been. Yeah, but there's always a chance to rest those stats or those records, Paul, so I wouldn't be writing off the Bulldogs just yet. 7 points at three-quarter time. We need to give their defensive players some credit, Paul, in that third term. They weathered an absolute barrage of inside 50 entries from the Royals, and to get away with only conceding 5 behinds in that term. In fact, it was 6 behinds, and them kicking a goal. So they halved that quarter effectively, but we are set for a grandstand finish. We turn for home. Three-quarter time, around 30 minutes of action remaining. Who's going to take out this arm wrestle? Will it be the Royals or will it be the Bulldogs? Find out on the other side of this break.
Fireman. Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Matt Chechens and Paul Persick, on behalf of Front Row Screens, welcoming you back to Leederville Oval, and we are right in the thick of it. That man has been influential today. 3 goals, all in each of the terms. Brandon Donaldson, and they've come from a little bit of theft, Paul Persick, hasn't he? He's been an opportunistic sort of live wire in that forward line, and if he can get 1 or 2 in this fourth quarter, the Bulldogs may just run over the top of the Royals.
That opportunistic attitude could, bode well for South Fremantle, because they had to withstand a barrage of inside 50 entries at the left-hand end of the ground, and it only resulted in 6 behinds being kicked for the Royals. If they would have been about 3 or 4 goals, East Perth would have been further in front, so the defence can be credited tremendously.
Pearson up to 25 disposals for South Fremantle. Now, he was one of those that had to stand under that shelling from long range from East Perth in that term. Now, they kicked 6 behinds to 1 straight in that term, did East Perth. So they halved the term, and it's just an 8-point margin. And that's what we witnessed at half-time after the Royals jumped South Fremantle early. They led by 12 points at the first change. Don't want to sound like a broken record, but South Fremantle's record in fourth quarters, not that flash. 2 wins and 6 losses as far as just the fourth quarter scores go. And East Perth are 4-4, and they've got 1 foot in the door at the moment. This man's been pretty good, Strong on camera, and then Bleacherton with that little centering ball there, and here it was. Lovely crumbing goal from Donaldson, was the only goal kicked in that term. East Perth had so many chances. Clever ball use. That was one of the rarest marks you'll ever see in a game of football.
Yeah, you don't see that every day.
No.
Edwards Baldwin sitting down on his backside, but still taking a very good mark. But here on the CD Dot highlights, in that third quarter, it belonged to the entries inside 50 for East Perth. But what can be attributed as well for the scrappiness of that third quarter is how effective South Fremantle were in getting the ball out of their 50. Having said that, though, there were a few moments of ill discipline by the Bulldogs. They gave away a few silly free kicks, about 4 or 5 of them in a short span of time, and that allowed East Perth opportunity after opportunity to get the ball back inside their attacking 50. Todd Curley will be saying, keep the pressure on, and 1 or 2 goals will come, because I reckon this will be around a 2 or 3 goal quarter at best, given the tide of this game, how it turned, because it was a very close, but plenty of goals in the first half of the game, 40-32 in terms of the overall score, but only 1 goal in that third quarter, so the pressure's really on.
It'll be interesting to see what he comes up with. He's obviously identifying the key numbers, but he is one of the best in the business, is Mr. Curley. Don't worry about that. The inside 50 count is something I've been looking at throughout the afternoon, Paul, and it was 9-6 at quarter time in favour of the Royals. They extended that to 20-13 in the second term. Now at 3/4 time with 1 term to play, 32-20. So that's 12 more inside 50s. They've had double the scoring shots, but South Fremantle so clean in the forward line, 6-2-38 to 6-10-46. So it's all set up. McQuilkin, need to mention him, 10 marks. Through 3 quarters, and for someone, I believe, just his third game.
Yeah, just his third game of league football. 10 marks across 3 quarters, and the marks he took in that third quarter were vital in stopping the Royals' forward 50 entries. Watch out for him in the final quarter. When the game is on the line, he can be relied upon to give a big performance, as can Schloeth.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's been positioned there deliberately, so we can't see the coaching points at 3/4 time. So getting in the way of not only forwards, but also our commentators. Blake Schloeth, what a talent he is. We're fortunate to have him in this competition, obviously. And East Perth are keen. They already have broken from their huddle, and their spectators making their way off the ground. A lot in today. Bouncy castle over to the right of the ground. Plenty of spectators bathing in the sunshine on the outer side of the ground. We saw some slick, opportunistic goals in the first half. We saw East Perth's running style of game. Plenty of handballs. And South Fremantle will break from their huddle. That man on screen, Kai Wilcox, I think he's had an outstanding game, originally from Ellenbrook Junior Footy Club. And he's played a big part in having the Royals in front at three-quarter time, Paul.
He certainly has been. Some crucial intercept possessions. He's also quick on his feet when he's got the ball in his hand. But also, he's running along with Shaw and Nignett to make sure that they're limited on their impact on the scoreboard. So a great effort by Wilcox in the first three quarters. Those players too are going to be vital. Mascos, Rioli, Pearson, and also Noah Strom on that defensive half as well, because they're going to be on that attacking half as well, because they're going to be shifted down back for this game. And also they've got a couple that can play up forward when the game is starting to get into that flooding brand of football.
An experienced head in Shane Hill, probably best on ground for me, Paul. He's got 20 disposals. 6 of those have gone inside 50. He's taken 7 marks. And he's providing to be a ball winner in the middle of the ground.
Just quickly, your tip, you said you were going to give me a tip before the fourth quarter. Who are you still backing?
South Fremantle.
South Fremantle for me as well. They are a very good side. Final quarter underway. The margin only 8 points. 6-10 playing 6-2. Here at Leederville Oval, grandstand finish coming. Miller and Ajang in the first ruck contest. Ajang wings it down, but only as far as Dragovich. He's bundled in a beautiful tackle by Schumacher. Ball's in dispute. Ajang, the hand pass comes out, and now the Royals are on. Wilcox there to his teammate. Wilcox, he lost his footing at the wrong time. And he's not looking too well, but he got up very quickly. That one caught him off guard a little bit there. The ball rolls free. Strong with that big left foot. Now towards Shaw and Schloeth. Schloeth in front of the ball. Gets a good pick-up. Caught right away by Mazzando. They're wanting holding the ball. The umpire says, I'll have it.
That was superb, because they're those tackles that can easily ride into the back of the opponent. Paul, just quickly, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I haven't seen Brock Higgins since half-time.
Yes. Either he's got an injury or he's just playing, he's just not been in the best of form this season. Either one of those two.
High shot.
High tackle. Free kick's going to go the way of the Bulldogs.
Also the clearing kick there after the whistle. You see those paid in the AFL as 50, but I think the umpire used a bit of common sense there. They've been exceptional today.
They have been. They've just let the guys play, even though there's been stoppage after stoppage. The umpiring, I must say, has been very, very good indeed. So the free kick is going to go the way of Donaldson, that man who's kicked 3 goals. He's looking for a 4th.
I only see 3 players in the interchange at the moment for the Bulldogs, so I'd say that Brock Higgins won't return.
So Donaldson from outside the 50.
We call this three-quarter time.
He's locked and loaded long from outside the 50, and it's punched through the line, over the line for a behind.
Lee Matthews not lurking in that right forward pocket there, that behind post shaking.
Yeah, it's luckily not to break. Ron Barassi could have easily bid for that. He's an avid collector. 6-10-46 plays, 6-3-39. Margin now 7 points here at Leederville Oval. It's been a very tight contest, and just inside the line there, Rowan Kerr.
That's a good mark from him.
Certainly is under a lot of pressure, and so is that one too. Schumacher gets the kick. Now towards left half back, intercepted by Main. Main's kick to the path of Shaw. He overran it. He got the hand pass back out on his hands and knees. Did he drag it in?
Oh, that could be holding the ball.
They're sensing trouble here. The umpire's going to call holding the ball, and it is. You can tell that he could call holding the ball because he's moving very slowly, waiting for the call.
The umpires love the sense of theatre. Paul, here's an interesting one. Do East Perth continue with this running style of game, or do they try and shut up shop? I mean, I know there's a long time to go, but you can see they try to take it on.
They got to continue. They have to continue it, because it'll only be too long before, if they continue this, shut up shop style and stoppage after stoppage, it won't be too long before they can concede a goal. Like that tackle that has been leaked out.
Yeah, and Blee was the man that turned it over. Probably his only mistake for the day. Here come the Bulldogs. Can they make it pay? Coming the other way. High kick. Strom did well. Forced the contest.
Free kick.
Chopping of the arms. So it was there. And the free kick will be taken by Taylor North, who looks to go in that direction with his kick. Here come the Royals via hand, linking up the 1-2. Ron Kerr with a teammate down the outer side, off hands. Can they keep it in? Schlensog taking in a good tackle. The Bulldogs receding ground at the moment. They might be happy just to step it over. Great mark. Is that going to be paid? It is.
Kerr.
Ron Kerr. That's 2 good marks in the space of 5 minutes. Looks to bite off a dangerous kick, but it was, I'll say, inch perfect. I'm not going to be paying royalties to the great man today. Here comes Schumacher. Runs his full measure. Lowers the eyes. Inside 50. Over the head of Magro. They come back. McQuilkin running out of room. Fires it back by hand. They get out of trouble again through the Stroms. Comes back inboard. Kelly. Consistent performer today. Brings it back to Miller. Miller sweeps it wide to Pearson. Can't get up to double digits now with his marks, but does well to collect. So South Fremantle, we know they like to play a slower tempo. Big lead on the outer side of the ground is honoured, but the kick just couldn't be corralled there. The Bulldogs still with the run. That's a clever kick inboard. Into the hands now of Doney. Doney got pushed off the footy. So the Royals are up for the fight. Masando, can he shirk the tackle? He can. The effective hand pass now into the safe hands of Ajang on that outer side. And a chance for the Royals to just take a bit of sting out of the game.
On the outer wing is Ajang. Great game he's had. It's a high kick. Simpson's a prime target. He leaps high. Fine mark too. Simpson, what a great game he's playing. The former Claremont player gets the hand pass away to Hill, releasing Edwards Baldwin. He's under a bit of pressure and eventually loses possession. South Fremantle will recover this one. The kick goes out to Dragovich. He takes the mark, but only just.
Well, put him in the gully.
We did. Very good catch out there at the gully as well. And that's a lovely kick out to Salmeri. Goes out wide. Main plays on. He's looking for a target in Donaldson. Oh, should have taken that one. A couple of East Perth players there. Spearing tackle by Magro. He dropped his opponent like a bag of spuds. That's a hard spear if you've ever seen one.
Welcome to the game, Bill Goldberg.
That's right. Who's next, they say? It's going to be a ball up on the 50. South Fremantle have got it where they want it. Tap comes in. Kelly caught in a tackle. Hand pass to Bleacherton. They start to open things up now. Doney off the side of the boot. Not 15. Umpire calls play on. Tackle inflicted by Mascos, but it's not going anywhere further.
Got to compliment both teams. I mean, they've stuck their tackles today, haven't they? You haven't seen many being broken. So ball up at centre half forward. One down by Miller. Ajang looks to butter up with the tackle. Is there going to be a prior opportunity? No. Another good decision from the umpire. Will come in, extract the footy, clear the congestion around the attacking arc of the Royals, and that will be a free kick to the Bulldogs. Going the way of Dragovich.
Could be a crucial one. Pearson's roaming on the outer side.
So there's two leads going towards the pocket. He elects to go down the middle to Shaw. Off the ground, he soccers and misses to the right-hand side and through for a minor score. So the Royals fans here at Leederville Oval, there's plenty of them, breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, they'll be biting their nails as well because it's a very close one. 6-4-40 to 6-10-46, Matt Chechens. It's still anybody's game.
Approaching 7 minutes. Elapse. Wilcox kicks the ball in on the stretch, receives the hand pass. The Bulldogs renowned for their forward half pressure, and they get the turnover. Up towards half forward. Too much time there for the Bulldogs player. They can load up. They kick into the pocket, looking for Strong. And on the stretch, he takes a mark. This will take his best effort, the big man. He is hemmed in right on that boundary line.
He's got to back himself here. This final quarter is all about taking risk. And if you've got to take the risk to win the game, you've got to do so immediately. Strom has the big chance.
2 goals, 2 for the season. 125 league games, originally from Exmouth. This to knot the game up. 6-10 play, 6-4. Can the big man do the impossible? He can't, but he scrapes it through. Could be a handy point in the end.
Could be indeed in the context of this game. 6-5-41 to 6-10-46. It's now 5 points the difference. Here at Leederville Oval, we're at the 8-minute mark on the Shutterguard scoreboard. It's been a fantastic game, been very tight. A real arm wrestle for much of the day. The Royals are going to set things up now from fullback. Sizing up the options now. Blee. They go to the outer side. And they'll look to steady things. And there, again, rises the question. Do they play that shut-up-shop style again? Or do they go for that run and gun that they did in that first quarter, which saw them lead by 12 points at quarter time? But again, turnover city. Kelly, hand pass out. Strom gets the quick snap away towards that forward 50. With the mark taken by North. He's been sensational in shutting down that forward combo of Shaw and Nignett, who have both been held goalless so far in the match, which is a rarity. North's kick towards the outer wing. Good mark under pressure, taken by Mascos. Mascos looking for some options down the line. Umpire tells him to get on with it. Kick towards centre half forward. Wilcox, courage in the air with the flight of the ball. No mark. Down at ground level, Mazzando rolls it back, North. Good hand pass out, finding Collie. And Blee's kick will go to the path of a Jang. They're going to slow things down again. Keep in mind, the Royals have not kicked a goal since the 22-minute mark of the second quarter. And that was Edward Simpson who got his third. So it's been a long wait for a goal. It's a long, high bomb towards the outer wing. Right, gets the hand pass out. It's Baldwin to Schumacher, through traffic, and now they're on here. Through the centre circle. The hand pass comes back to Young. Check side kick.
Clever.
It's into space. Now the Royals can get on with it. Hill, he kicks towards
Another
half
option
forward.
over the top.
Looking to go over the top. Magro from 5 metres out. Goal! Magro gets the crucial goal. They now lead it by 11 points. Their first since the second quarter. They go to 7-10-52 to 6-5-41 on the Shutterguard scoreboard. That was the one they desperately needed.
So Magro, 2 goals in the first half, 1 in the third, and now in the fourth. And that fast break was on thanks to CD Dodd. Magro was not going to fire off the hand pass to Simpson, and he drills it in the netting. That could have easily ended up not only on Vincent Street, but maybe Oxford Street.
Well, it could end up a little further than that because there's a big kick. Could even end up on the RAC Arena roof.
Look, we have to credit the Royals here, Paul, because they absorbed, they took a few punches across half-back. South Fremantle just couldn't get that breakthrough. They had a couple of behinds, and then all of a sudden, fast break footy, and you know how they did it? By moving the ball
by
hand through the corridor.
And they did it very well indeed.
Back in the middle, Jones v Miller. If you just joined us, well, Higgins is off the ground. Trying to step through traffic is Doney. Awkward looking kick. Mark could not be taken by Harley Sparks, but did beautifully at ground level. Off to Schumacher. Back to Sparks. Sparks feeds it wide. Going to be corralled there with Stanley Wright. Got absolutely levelled. That kick is falling well short and coming across as Angus Scott.
You notice Schumacher on the inner wing told his players to slow it down, that hand signal.
Yeah. So Mazzando telling players to lead towards half forward. That's a beautiful kick. Out to Simpson. Too far out to score. One-on-one with a Jang and Schlentzog. 2 of the best marks. Oh, he couldn't take it, a Jang. And the ball just stepped over the line. That was 2 of the best above their shoulders, going head-to-head, and literally and metaphorically, but the ball tumbles out for a boundary throw, and this is an important stoppage, Paul.
One more goal here, and you could say it's game over. But South Fremantle, they know, even though their fourth quarter record is poor, they want to get a transition from defence into attack very quickly.
That would push it out to 3 goals they would need to win. They've only kicked 6 for the game. Is that high? The umpire says no. Crumbs extracted. Kelly, he tried to step around one. The second one gone. Holding the ball, and they get around the ball carrier, East Perth. They come in a pack. And that could be a huge play in the context of the game. There's a bit to be said.
Well, it was Collie who inflicted that tackle on Kelly. It was a beautiful tackle indeed.
So, yeah, it was indeed. And maybe one of the Bulldogs players took exception. So, Cooley, can he be composed? Started the game on the interchange bench. Has not kicked a goal on this season. Claremont Junior Football product. His 5th game.
If he kicks this, it's signed, sealed and delivered.
Oh, that's a big call, Paul. For the reigning premiers. So the supporters decked out in their black and blue. This is a huge kick. He's pushed it well wide. It was slewed off the side of his boot, and a big miss. Leaves the door ajar for the Bulldogs. What can they muster now from fullback?
They need a big entry, and they need to move the ball quickly. Margin now 12 points, 7-11-53 to 6-5-41.
Had a draw in the AFL today, Paul. We might get one in the WAFL.
Yeah, North Melbourne and Sydney drawing at 94 apiece. Could you believe that? But the mark being taken by Jones. He's been immense in the ruck today. Kick towards half forward, and it's over the line. Magro couldn't get that one off in time. And it'll be a throw-in just by members bar over there of the East Perth Football Club. 7-11 playing 6-5 if you're just joining us for the first time on our Front Row Screens live stream.
I think
and of course on Facebook and YouTube.
Daniel Foss is a bit harsh on his mate Brandon Donaldson. Get a touch. He's kicked 3 goals.
He has.
Come on, Daniel.
And speak of the devil, Donaldson, he got it back. He kicks high up towards centre wing. North, good pick up. Gathers and hand passes out to Mazzando. Breaks through 2, and he's holding the ball. He dropped it. He dropped the football. That's going to allow Nignett to take the free kick. He kicks to the lead of Schloeth. Schloeth takes the mark, plays on, goes towards an open goal and bangs it through. That's a crucial response for the Bulldogs, who are under so much pressure in the first 14 minutes. And Schloeth gets one back, and that is his first of the day. He's been held well, the former Sandover medalist, but that is such a crucial goal in the context of this game. 7-5, plays 7-11.
Well, shout out for Grant Nowak up in Dongara, lovely part of the world. Says, come on, let's play the raw way and get a win. That's not going to help the cause. He has been well held today, that's for sure. Chris McShane says, go Royals. Terry Walsh, shout out to you. Gail Nicholas as well.
Margin now 6 points. It's still anybody's game at the moment. That goal has really put the game right back within their reach now.
What does Jeremy Barnard do here? We try and swing some changes. It'll be interesting. So back in the middle, Jones. They've stood up manfully in the ruck, haven't they? Travis Abbott now with his turn, but can the Royals respond? Without the footy? Yes, said the umpire. So it'll come back into the hands of the Royals number 11. That's Hayden Lynch. 3 goals, 7. Had 35
50.
touches, and that is huge.
Free kick down the field, I think, to Magro.
And Magro, so maybe getting under the skin of the defender in Spooner, I think it is. So maybe Jeremy Barnard will get a bit of relief in blood pressure now, because he would have gone up as Magro. Is it Magro? It's going to go
it's not
down to the
Magro.
ground, but they're giving the high fives to him. So yeah, so they advanced the ball 50 metres. So obviously a hit down the ground. So a big chance for Hayden Lynch. Can he kick his 4th of the season? To give them a bit more breathing space, the goal umpire dances to his left, and he snuck it home. Hayden Lynch, his 4th of the season, originally from Edgewater Woodvale, and no bigger time to step up and punch one through the big sticks. Have a look. Well, he kept us nervously waiting up in the commentary position. As you see, the ball dropped just slightly off to his right of his boot, and he has a look.
Sorry, believe Lynchy.
He wasn't as confident as what Simpson was in the first term, that's for sure. But I'm sure the veteran is happy, and Magro earning that free kick or that 50-metre penalty. So that makes it interesting. Back to a 2-goal margin.
You don't want to concede any 50-metre penalties at the wrong time, and this was the wrong time, especially when the game was right back in the balance after that Schloeth goal at the 14-minute mark. It's 12 points the difference. Could they be on the verge of doing it to the reigning premiers for a 2nd year in a row? Last year they beat Subiaco on this ground. Could they do the same thing to the Bulldogs on this Sunday afternoon? Jones and Abbott. Jones, hard hit on Abbott, but gets the tap down. Socket off the ground by Schumacher, up towards the half-forward line. It's volleyed back. Hand pass comes out. The Bulldogs are now going to be on the attack again. The kick up towards the half-forward line. Schloeth, the prime target. Punched away. Wilcox in front, overruns it. Out there to Salneri. They contest about 60 metres out for the goal. Abbott brought down, and a good tackle by Young, and the umpire says, give it to me. 2 goals to 1 being scored in this quarter. It's in favour of the Royals. It's been goal for goal in this quarter. Up and under kick towards the half-forward line. Straub running back, couldn't take the mark. Nignett snaps around the corner. It's a 1-on-1. Out there to Donaldson, no mark. Donaldson again, snaps with the left foot, and he's put it through. Just the start, that's the response rather they wanted. And Donaldson, can you believe it, has his 4th goal. And it's now back to 6 points. 8-5, plays 8-11 on the Shutterguard scoreboard.
Well, believe it or not, he's kicked 4 goals, and they've all been these kind of similar crumbing type goals. Have a look. Just the kind bounce. He was about to be set upon by Amaduri. Put him under heavy duress, but he managed to get the clean kick away. And those ones can easily be touched off the boot or partially smothered. So he's stood up. I know he's had a couple of chances already in this 4th term, but I mean, you can't ask for any more consistent performance from Donaldson. A goal in each term.
As exciting it is being goal for goal, that's good for East Perth more like as well, because the momentum is going back and forth. But more importantly, they still have the lead. But it's only by 6 points, so another goal here, and it could be anyone's match, Etchins.
Daniel Foss maybe have spoken too quickly at home, as your mates just slammed through his 4th. Back in the middle, Miller out at point at this time. Slung in a good tackle was Young, but they turn it over. Schloeth, the former Sandover medalist, kicks indiscriminately, and getting over, taking a very good intercept mark is Bradley Fulgrave. So Fulgrave looks to bring it out to half back. Couldn't have weighted the kick any better. Angus Scott. He's got Cooley over the top, but he's going to ignore that.
He's going to have to go down the line. He hasn't got a lot of options.
The umpire says play on. He goes to the big man, Jones. He rose, 2 bites. Couldn't take it. Oh, that's a big saddle put on the number 2 in Dragovich. Bleacherton. Chaos ball. Strom sits under it. Flies through his hands. Overrunning it there was Wilcox. Donaldson threw the ball and gives away a crucial free kick. So East Perth will get a little bit of respite at centre half back. Player just a little ginger getting to his feet there. The number 19 and Bradley Fulgrave. Hope he's okay. From Upper Swan. 13 games. Big boy, isn't he? 195 centimetres.
He's built like a unit.
Almost 100 kilograms. So East Perth play on by hand. Into the back pocket. He's looking down the line. Players offering leads. And they come streaming towards the broadcast side. We'll get a good view of this. Pearson, was he held off the ball? Jones couldn't take the mark. Or he had his legs taken from under him. Good strong tackle laid in and under from Mascos. And another stoppage as Nignett will step off the ground. Rioli, Subin coming on for him, and Rioli onto the ground now. So some crafty half-back and half-forward operators now onto the ground for the Bulldogs. Schloeth just pushes his opponent over the boundary line, escorting him there for another stoppage. East Perth will be happy for this. They'll get numbers behind the ball. And Scott gives it back to the boundary umpire. As you can see, the Rucks shielding their eyes from the bright sunshine here at Leederville Oval. Jones didn't need to jump. Wilcox over around the footy. Bleacherton in on the scene, as is Mascos. Loves it in and around nitty-gritty, and we'll have another stoppage here.
Donny coming back on in place of Salmeri. Higgins still nowhere to be seen. He's been out since half-time, obviously suffering injury, but we'll get more details in the days ahead.
Now, Jones dropped that football. Wait and see what the umpire says. No, we'll have another stoppage. Tell you what, Jimmy Miller's been outstanding on the ball. Up against some tall timber and a heavy body. Kelly loved his game today. Tumbling ball up towards the kickoff line. Bit of a chaos one. Shaw. Can he keep his composure? Not this time. East Perth, they stand up again. Is that holding the ball? No, it's a push in the back. Ooh. Push in the back. So it'll come back to Nathan Eaton, and Dylan Main, the skipper of South Fremantle, shakes his head in disgust, but it was definitely a free kick, Paul.
He looked to have been holding the ball to me. I'd have to say he's a bit unlucky there, but it was a very hard and good tackle being applied as East Perth now have the ball on the left half-back flank in the dying stages of this final quarter. It's been a great game. 8-11 plays 8-5. On right centre wing, Pearson tries to take it, but he couldn't get it out of the boundary line. And it's going to be another ball in. It's by the members' stand here at Leederville Oval. Great atmosphere on this Sunday afternoon. East Perth trying to hold on. Can the Bulldogs snatch a miraculous victory? Clearing out by Hill. Hand pass comes out. Eaton bumped off as he kicked it. Rioli getting first to it, but he's not going to go anywhere further. The ball's over the line.
We've acknowledged a lot of Royal supporters today. Janine Adams says, "Go Doggies," watching from Queensland. Elizabeth Ann, Hamish Free, Judy Charlie Gregory, we shout out to you. Obviously trying to get your boys over the line.
Well, they could still get a goal and rescue 2 points. Can South Fremantle, but they want one more than that. Jones dragged out in the tackle. The Bulldogs wanting holding the ball, but they're not going to get any of it. As every stoppage comes, the pressure really mounts for the Bulldogs. They're wanting to replay what they did in that third quarter. Wright dragged down a good tackle, Bleacherton. Again, they're wanting holding the ball, and again, they are not going to get it. Very close game indeed here at Leederville Oval. We're glad you've joined us all throughout the 2.5 hours here on front row screens. Bleacherton, hand pass Rioli, and he's stopped in his tracks there by Magro.
Wilcox again on the scene. He's been superb.
Jones and Miller. Socket off the ground, Amajuri, and that looked like in danger. And yes, it was.
It was actually called by the non-officiating umpire to our left. So he saw it from a long way. Schloeth.
Free kick's going to go the way of the Sandover medalist. On right centre wing. Sets it up to the hot spot. Players will fly. No mark taken. North, unfavoured by the bounce. Mazzando, hand pass over the top. And now East Perth can get a move on again. Jones, looping hand pass. Releases Scott. Around the corner, bending that one back, but not far enough. Out to Strong. He needs to move it quickly. A goal, and they could possibly tie it up. Hand pass. Out to Mascos. Goes for the short pass out to Shaw. Unfavoured by the bounce. Hand pass out to Donaldson. From 40 metres out. Goes with the left foot. It's not going to make the distance. Wilcox.
Great mark.
What a great mark. Kai Wilcox. That could possibly be a match-saving mark. What a game he's played. Inside defensive 50. And he's wanting options. He's going to be forced to go down the line. It's a huge pack of players flying. Schlensog, high up, couldn't take the mark. And it's a huge pack of players converging on that football. 8-11 playing 8-5.
Couple of outstanding passages of play. The quick hands coming out of defence, they turn it over, and then that mark from Wilcox, superb.
Ajang, big tap. Amajuri overruns it. It's just outside the 50. South Bonning holding the ball, but every stoppage, again, they're running up against the clock here. Every opportunity will be crucial in the last few minutes of this game. The margin, only 6 points. Remember, it was 7 points the last time these two sides met. Long kick by Scott. It's into the path of Lynch. Does he take it inside the line? No, he doesn't. And it'll be another boundary throw-in. It's been an entertaining Sunday afternoon. It's been a real arm wrestle. A great atmosphere here at Leederville Oval on Sunday afternoon football. A Jang from behind, loses out. Magro. It's bundled out, another good tackle. And the physical pressure again put on show. And the tackle being applied there by Manfred Kelly. And it'll be another repeat in proceedings. Could this be a great East Perth win? Or maybe not. Sal Mary, maybe a big chance for the Bulldogs. It's in the Schloeth direction. Great play by Edwards Baldwin to punch it out to his advantage. Breaks through one tackle, breaks through two. He's caught, holding the ball. Subin takes the free kick. Subin, he'll have the free kick from about 60.
He's got the journey here, I reckon.
He's going to go for it from 60. It doesn't make the distance, but will it clear the pack? Oh, it's across the face from behind.
Hit the base of the post, Paul.
Oh, it did.
Now,
well,
that could be a valuable point.
I'll have to say that is pretty lucky for East Perth because he did cover the distance with that kick. It cleared the pack. The margin now 5 points. 59 plays 54 here at Leederville Oval. Wilcox. It's a high kick out towards left half back. Great mark, Simpson. Pushing down back, taking a vital mark and maybe wanting to chew the clock up a little bit more. Kai Wilcox, that match-saving mark earlier, might have actually won it for the Royals. Simpson gets a high kick. Schumacher, under pressure, no mark. Good spoil under pressure. And again, these stoppages coming very crucial for the Royals here. Jeremy Bernard saying, push back if you get the ball and get that crucial clearance. What can he do? Tackle being applied. Looks like Doney. And yes, we'll have ourselves another ball up. Players not pushing back quickly. They'll have to wait on the clearance first.
Only 2 East Perth players forward of the wing at the moment, so an important stoppage. That's got to be prior opportunity. We'll wait on the umpire. This could be a big decision. Ball up. It looked as though he roped it back in. Now, South Fremantle must know the time situation at the moment is getting urgent. Jones, you'd say one clearance will win the game. They'll be happy with another stoppage. Can't wriggle out of the tackle. Jones gives his 32 a big pat on the back. In Stanley Wright. Ball up. Jones, swinging arm back towards the boundary. They escort Doney over the line. This would be the ultimate steal.
It certainly would be if they could still get this final goal and win this game. And as you see there, Miller and Donaldson interchanging. Another ruck contest, Jones. Schumacher overrunning it. Well played there by Cooley. And there's the siren! East Perth have done it again! Last year against Subiaco and this year against the Bulldogs. It'll be black and blue all night at Leederville Oval. East Perth have their second win of the season and they've done it by 5 points, 8-11 to 8-6 in one of the classic games of football in 2021. What a finish.
Well, congratulations to the Royals. They have proved all the doubters wrong in round 10 of the OPTUS WAFL season for 2021. They led by 12 points at the first change. They had that cut to 8 points at half-time. they halved the third term and held on to an 8-point lead from three-quarter time and just had enough. A late Nick Subban effort from 55 metres, hitting the base of the right-hand goalpost, getting the Bulldogs within 5 points, and then the Royals stood up with some tough tackling across half forward in the wing and were 5 points victors today. And that could almost be a season-defining win because the Royals have been building. They had a few setups. We know that they lost by 100 points or thereabouts to Peel, but for them as a group to regather, they only lost to the Bulldogs by 7 points back in round 6. They've got their revenge now against the reigning premiers and had a good 5-point win here in front of their faithful who are ecstatic. And you could see how much it meant to the Royals players. I mean, and in Blee's milestone game as well, they all got around him and deserved winners. South Fremantle, they're still going to be there at the end of the wash-up of the season, aren't they? They've still got
absolutely
some class players and a couple more to come in. We hope Brock Higgins is okay. We didn't see him come back from the end of the second half. But look, East Perth, I would say almost shot themselves in the foot, but they would have missed because they kicked 6 behinds in that third term. And credit the Bulldogs for still coming at them in that fourth quarter, but that 50-metre penalty was a crucial one.
It certainly was, the one in favour of Lynch late in that quarter that gave Lynch his first goal of the season and his first goal of the game, and a very crucial one it was indeed. But South Fremantle just kept on coming.
But what we've seen from South Fremantle over the last couple of years, and indeed this season, whenever they have a loss, they've come and bounced back. So I'd look out for their next opponents, that's for sure. But that man played a key part, particularly in the first half, kicking 2 goals. He ended up with 4, and that was Magro. Also, Ed Simpson was superb. He kicked 3 today. Harley Sparks kicking 1. And Hayden Lynch just squeezing his effort home after a 50-metre penalty. Brandon Donaldson, we've got to mention his game. He was brilliant for South Fremantle, kicked 4 goals, all in each quarter. Hayden Schloeth got a late goal, but was well held today. Bleacherton probably best on ground in a losing team for the Bulldogs. Cody Nignett was quiet. And Manfred Kelly also kicking a goal, and he was influential. But this is a nice scene as we see the milestone man, originally a Royal of Ballajura, given the regal treatment by the East Perth Royals. And
a Royal at
so.
East Perth. He's a Royal at heart, they say, Nathan Blee. We saw a banner before the game, believe it. And Nathan Blee, well, you can believe it all right. A win in your 150th game. Can't do much better than that. And he's getting the right applause that he deserves. A great game. And, of course, Stanley Wright in his 50th game this afternoon. And they have done it in those milestone games. They celebrate in a victorious way. They have won it by 5 points. Well, that is one of the best games. It was a real arm wrestle all the way. South Fremantle, they put the pressure on. They got repeat inside 50 entries. They got 2 crucial goals with Schloeth and Donaldson to keep the game alive. But as we go to the CD Dota highlights, it might have been that first half of football that could have set up the game for East Perth. But having said that, that third quarter was huge for South Fremantle in getting that 1 goal back from Donaldson to put them back in the game, get them within 8 points.
I think this result not only great for East Perth, but for the competition, because it shows that it might be a little more even than what we first thought. And I mean, we probably shouldn't have assumed the worst from East Perth today. And I think both of us were kind of assuming that they would put up a fight, but ultimately get rolled today. And they were just superb. I mean, have a look at the way that they took the game on. They took marks, but just the way they moved the ball by hand. That was a rare blemish there for Wilcox. He was superb across half back. That was a rare bit of brilliance there from Nignett, but I just thought they did a great job on him. They did a fantastic defensive job on Mason Shaw. We talked about how they give away deep 50 entries. I thought Ajang was brilliant. Jones dominated the ruck today. That man there, and Simpson.
But we've also got to credit the South Fremantle defensive unit as well. Mascot, Strom, McQuilkin, and Blenchton and Schlensog for holding the scoreboard pressure down after half-time. And
you mentioned some of these names. Chad Pearson, 29 disposals and 9 marks. Dragovich in the middle of the ground had 28 disposals, 8 marks also. Bleacherton had a fantastic game. Mascos is impactful. And then obviously Brandon Donaldson had 20 touches. He took 4 marks and kicked 4 goals. So, and then we haven't even mentioned Schlensog. I know he had a rare blip. He just had the 12 disposals and 5 marks, but it's just the way he reads the ball and is composed. And obviously with Pearson, they're a formidable backline. But all credit goes to the team in black and blue today. As we have a look at Simpson get his second goal. of the afternoon. Thanks again to CD Dodd and also to Front Row Screens. And what a whirlwind split round it's been. Optus WAFL action, Paul.
Sensational
round
split
10,
round.
We saw the Tigers in a tight one, just 7 points, and then the Royals in one of the upsets of the season by 5 points over the reigning premiers. We turn our attention to Optus WAFL action round 11, another split round, but 3 games.
That's right. Subiaco doing battle with the West Coast Eagles up at Leederville.
Yep.
And possibly the game of the round. Swan Districts and West Perth down at Steel Blue Oval, and then Perth and East Fremantle from Mineral Resources Park. Those 3 will be beauties. But my goodness, what a first split round this week. And what has been a great weekend of football around West Australia. Some good crowds in too, not just at Revo Fitness Stadium yesterday, Matty, but here today at Leederville Oval. The black and blue, their faithful, have witnessed their side win it by 5 points. And what a game to come back to the commentary box in, I must say. I mean, what a great game. Arm wrestle, credit to both sides.
Yeah.
But in the end, the Chockies go to East Perth for the second win this season, and they keep their faint finals hopes alive, but only just.
You never know. It could be an interesting season in 2021. Well, thanks to the team here, and on behalf of the Front Row Screen teams, Matt Williamson in the truck, just guiding us as usual. He's the captain of our ship. And to our cameraman, Paul Persick, welcome back. 5 weeks, you're back into it. Been fantastic. Great call today.
5 weeks has been worth it, mate. What a game.
And look forward to your input moving forward in the season. Well, that's a wrap. The Royals have been crowned, not premiers, but winners in an upset. 5 points over the defending premiers. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to your company next week. And the Optus WAFL season will continue. Round 11. We've got to wait another working week. I look forward to your company very shortly. On behalf of Paul Persick, this is Matt Chechens. Have a wonderful end to your weekend.